fucking obnoxious. Live chat. Oh, here we go. Got a few things I want to watch. Might even go crazy and put on long legs. I don't know. I use the Cheez-Its as my framing device. But I did figure out that last time we went live that I should probably lower the brightness of what the items that I'm using. So that's a good thing. Whoa. Okay. Let's drop that. Okay. So let me get into my chat room real quickly, which pisses me off because I have to use Wi-Fi when I have weak Wi-Fi. Oh my god. Okay. View your channel. Yes, view my channel, you son of a bitch. Let's lower that to 144p. Let's give it a like, because I'm liking my own stream. If I like it. Let's go ahead and get pop out chat. And then we're just going to start watching some stuff. I may eventually throw something else on. I'm using my mouse, by the way. I'm using it on my leg. Come on. Oh my god, the Wi-Fi is so slow. I was scrutinizing the last video and I heard audio glitches nonstop with the lag. I'm like, oh my god. It's unbearable. What's up? Yo, Burberry. How you doing, man? Just went live with this. Let me put the pop-out chat on. Have you been, Burberry, man? Pop out on. Alright, I did do the double screens last time. With that, but I don't know if I'm going to. Get a pain in my neck. I should have done double screens. Damn it! Now it's just gonna be in the side in the corner. Let's go ahead and start up another tab. Usually, since I've been streaming, I've been doing it this other way, but whatever. Got a handful of videos I want to go through. And like I said, we may go crazy and just put on a movie. I don't know. Let me turn this off. Way too loud, especially with the cell phone's speaker. But yeah, Burberry, how you been, man? Hopefully you've been good. Whew, fucking freezing over here. All right, let's get through these videos that I did want to see. Because we got... yeah, okay, so this first video is how big are the planets in Jedi Outlaw? I feel like ACG will just be honest. Let's go ahead and lower the brightness so you guys can actually see what we're looking at. Wait, is this just a video of him driving across the planet, or is he going to talk?
All right, easy. Get.
Oh, so it is a video of him. Well, that video's nothing now. That's not what I wanted to watch. I thought he was going to talk about it. So at this point, I have no idea how many planets he just displayed because I skipped over it because I don't care. Okay, that's kind of a issue. Oh, I'm gonna play some Bleak Faith Forsaken. I'm loving that game. Okay, and then let's see. Yeah, 20 hours of conspiracy theories. Good lord, man. Let's watch the smackdown of this horrible.
Every once in a while, I get an attack of the galloping crazies and almost manage to convince myself that remakes can be a good idea. Cape Fear, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, The Fly, and Battlestar Galactica were all big improvements over the originals, taking great concepts that were once limited by technology, budget, or restrictive censorship, and producing much realizations of the original artistic vision. That's nice and everything, but here's the thing. I would happily trade all of those just to wipe 2024's The Crow from my brain and pretend that it never existed. That film was 2 solid hours of pointless, boring, dreary, bleak, unimaginative, unlikable, self-inflicted misery. A completely soulless, corporatized modern-day rehash that makes a mockery of the source material, fails to understand any of the themes or characters that made it so iconic, and completely fails to recapture the magic of the 1994 original. In short, it's a perfect example of all of the most depressing tendencies of modern remakes, and a solid contender for the worst movie of the year. Anyway, let's get the plot summary over with so that we can all get the hell out of here.
But the Borderlands movies,
Eric Draven, as you might expect,
I didn't see
considering he's supposed to be the protagonist of the fucking movie, but with Shelley, future corpse and revenge motivation. In this case, however, she's a drug-addicted former prostitute. Yeah, quite the catch. I think I'd be coming back from the dead for this girl. Anyway, whatever. Shelley's forced to go on the run from a local crime lord named Vincent after one of her friends sends an incriminating video to her. One of Vincent's men is after her, so she employs some big brain thinking and bumps into a pair of cops so that she can get arrested for drug possession. Now, call me crazy here, but couldn't you have just told them what was happening and asked for help? I mean, generally cops tend to be sympathetic to young women that claim they're being stalked by some crazy mobster guy. Nah, whatever. So Shelley gets sent to a rehab center, which for some reason allows male and female inmates to mingle freely together, because that's definitely not going to result in all kinds of assaults and unwanted pregnancies.
There we go.
You serious? And that is where she meets and befriends Eric, an absolute pussy that gets bullied and victimized by practically everyone in the place. Anyway, when Vincent's right-hand, woman shows up looking for Shelley, they're forced to escape together, because Eric knows exactly how to get out of it.
I do have the chat on, I just have to switch between it because I should have fucking put the chat on the other TV behind so I could just not monitor. I still could, it's just such a pain in the ass. What a pain in the ass. Mainly because of the backlighting.
Which kind of makes you wonder why he's never escaped before now, but whatever. So they get out and they start a relationship together, and this is where the movie goes from borderline tolerable to completely tedious. The next 30 minutes or so are nothing but a series of excruciating dates and weirdly protracted love scenes between a completely unlikable pussy and a woman with all the charm and appeal of a greasy doner kebab that's been lying on a stone-cold pavement all night. And do not ask me how I know that. We've all done things we're not proud of, okay? Thankfully though, Vincent's goons eventually show up and put the two of them out of my misery, only for Eric to get resurrected by...
Don't worry, I'm not going to be playing drinker videos all night. I just wanted to watch this 7-minute video of The Crow because of his smackdown in this video. I have no intention of ever seeing this movie. I just was curious.
Arsehole named Kronos, who demands that he kill Vincent. See, it turns out that Vincent made a deal with the devil to live forever, and Kronos isn't too happy about it. So if Eric can kill him, then he'll get Shelley back, and the two of them can live happily ever after. Yay. Now, you might think after all this tedious bullshit that it's finally crowing time, but nah, Eric's still a useless pussy who cries all the time. The only difference is that he can't die now, and any injuries heal up within seconds because he's powered by love or something. Jesus, what is this, a Disney movie? Anyway, despite all these supernatural advantages, he still manages to fuck up.
So I got anyone from IP2 in here? Because I didn't post.
Because Shelley's getting sent to hell now. Oh no! Anyway, but then he's
Oh,
like,
no.
nah, I'll take her place. And then he comes back again as the actual Crow this time, after about 90 minutes of the kind of blue balling that would make Tatiana look like an absolute amateur. Then there's a very long and tedious
90
fight
minutes?
scene, and he eventually kills Vincent because it turns out that an immortal, unkillable demon ninja with superpowers versus a 60-year-old man isn't quite the epic matchup that you think it is. So Eric gets sent to hell instead, and Shelley gets resurrected on the night that she died, which means none of this ever happens? I
Wait,
don't
what?
fucking know. Anyway, that's it. That's
Hold
been
on.
sent to hell now.
Fucking.
Oh no! Anyway, but then he's like, nah, I'll take her place. And then he comes back again as the actual Crow this time, after about 90 minutes of the kind of blue balling that would make Tatiana look like an absolute amateur. Then there's a very long and tedious fight scene, and he eventually kills Vincent because it turns out that an immortal, unkillable demon ninja with superpowers versus a 60-year-old man isn't quite the epic matchup that you think it is. So Eric gets sent to hell instead, and Shelley gets resurrected on the night that she died, which means none of this ever happens? I don't fucking know. Anyway, that's it. That's the plot for The Crow. You know, I'm struggling to think of any remake that missed the point of the original quite as spectacularly as this movie. The 1994 original was a dark, gothic, urban fairy tale centered around a tragic protagonist driven by his quest for revenge beyond the grave. There was a kind of haunting beauty to be found in the stylized, dilapidated cityscape he lived in. There was a bittersweet undertone to Eric's violent quest for vengeance, underscored by little moments of humanity and kindness, and the tentative relationships he tried to form along the way, knowing that they could never last. And the script showed you just enough to let you understand his supernatural nature, but restrained enough to hold back and keep a lot of things ambiguous and mysterious. It was actually a very thoughtful, well-balanced and well-made movie that was way ahead of its time, and aside from some janky visual effects, still holds up pretty well even today. The remake, on the other hand, is just a grimy, violent, depressingly bleak and empty exercise in stupidity. There's no soul to this film and no point to it. It feels like a movie made to order, assembled from stock ingredients to retain the IP rights or fill a release quota, instead of some passion project that anyone was particularly driven to make. The decision to focus so much of the narrative on Shelley and Eric's relationship is probably the first and biggest misstep, but it's definitely not the last. Shelley was never really important as a character in the original movie. In fact, she was already fucking dead when the film opens, and we only really get to see her in a couple of brief flashbacks. And you know what? That's perfect for a film like The Crow, because it's Eric's love for Shelley and his quest for revenge that drives the narrative, rather than Shelley as an actual person. She's a symbol for doomed love, lost innocence, and missed opportunities. The Shelley in this movie, though, is kind of overbearing and annoying. She always takes the lead in every situation, while Eric follows her like a lost puppy. She spouts the kind of cringe dialogue that feels like it was written by an edgy 13-year-old Tumblr author, and having her played by some fucking R&B singer who's never acted in anything before was a bold choice, Cotton. It just didn't pay off for anyone, though. Eric, on the other hand, comes across as a complete pussy who spends most of the movie crying and sulking, and he's played by a horribly miscast Bill Skarsgård. I mean, Brandon Lee was always going to be a tough act to follow, and it's not like Skarsgård is a bad actor generally, but he feels lost in a role that doesn't seem to know what it wants from him. He's got no chemistry with Shelley. He kind of meanders through the bulk of the movie like he's ashamed to be there, and he only really seems to come alive during the fight scenes. Yeah, the movie's definitely gory and violent, which is always nice to see, but it feels perfunctory instead of meaningful. There's no emotional release as Eric takes revenge on the people who destroyed his life. It's just a guy going through some highly choreographed action scenes because he can. Danny Houston is another talented actor delivering another adequate performance in a role that doesn't really deserve him. Michael Wincott's top dollar from the original movie was a fucking brilliant antagonist, menacing and eloquent and cool, but Vincent just feels bland and forgettable by comparison. Ultimately, the question I keep asking myself about The Crow is, why was this movie even made? Who was it made for? And what did they even expect to get from it? The Brandon Lee movie was about as good as a film like this is ever going to get. You're not going to improve on it, and you're not going to add a different perspective by rehashing the same story again, so why bother? I don't know, and I don't care. But if you really want to revisit the story of Eric Draven, then go and watch the 1994 version and pretend that this pile of shit never existed. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now!
Okay, it's not extra angry that time. Okay, I was just curious about that. That was abysmal. So, What do we got up? Oh yeah, because I'm curious about Black Myth Wukong from Mortismal. Let me get rid of this video. Deleted. And this video deleted. I didn't think ACG was just gonna upload. Well, whatever. Whatever. I'm fucking over it. Fuck. Did I watch the top 20? This is where I need to have, like, chat somewhat open because I'm never sure if there's anyone in chat. Like, I never expected Burberry to pop up. Let me see. Whoops. Let's go with the top 20. Knock this out.
Some of the most memorable lines in gaming are also the worst. We're chronicling the cringiest, corniest, and silliest dialogue in gaming. Starting off at number 20, let's just roll the clip here.
Sorry, my face is tired from dealing with everything.
Oh, that line?
And right now, I just want to know what happened with Alec.
We're starting strong with one of the worst first impressions in gaming. Mass Effect Andromeda had so much to prove, and BioWare, unfortunately,
My face is tired.
with something that should have
Oh,
been slam dunk. Andromeda is the next-gen sequel to the big-budget hit series Mass Effect.
I never actually checked my
poorly,
connection.
so poorly that we're still waiting for another game 7 years later.
Okay,
This
it is.
line
I'm just
appears
double checking.
pretty
I never
early in
actually
the
looked.
adventure when players have started to realize something is very wrong with this game. Before you can have fun shooting stuff, you're stuck in a really boring intro with worse versions of our favorite companions from the previous games doing nothing really all that interesting. And the sense of boredom only grows once you actually land on a planet, but that's for later. Arriving at the Nexus in the Andromeda Galaxy in a state of chaos, you'll need to talk to an unpleasant bureaucrat named Foster Addison. It's a combination of her flat effect, her weird, pointless, passive-aggressive dialogue, and her awful character animation that makes this dialogue so bad. This poor voice actor didn't even have a
I actually thought Mass Effect Andromeda was pretty okay. I haven't beaten it, to be clear, but I think it's actually an okay game. Not amazing or anything, but whatever.
chance at saving this line. Now, what makes this really stand out is the animation. At launch, this game had some borked facial animations. Like,
Yes.
she's talking about her face at a time when the facial animations were the meme. They were the hot button topic. Like I said, later patches and revisions made the animation look better, but it never looked good. Always kind of uncanny and weird and stilted. We really wanted the best for you, Mass Effect Andromeda, but this one bad line is a great summary of a lot of what went wrong. Next, over at number 19, we have to talk about Chaos. Roll it.
All I
Oh,
care about
Chaos!
is seeing Chaos dead. I need to.
Dude, when I played Final Fantasy, what was that? Final Fantasy, Stranger of Paradise? This made me laugh so fucking hard. It makes no sense. He's just talking, rambling and ranting about, I have to kill Chaos. It's so serious, and you're just like, what? This game's actually good.
It's not a hope or a dream. It's like a hunger,
Yeah,
a thirst.
This is a line that gained instant meme notoriety, and for good reason. All the self-serious chaos, hate bubbling up in the early hours of Stranger of Paradise is funny for all the best reasons. Right from the start, we know big, tough, manly man Jack isn't messing around. This dude really, really hates chaos. He isn't just here to say the word chaos. No, he's gonna kill chaos. All his friends hate chaos too.
it's so
Don't
funny.
ask them. Jack says it all. Like, we're here to kill chaos. That's the whole thing. It was the trailer at the time. The trailer is plastered with different variations of the same line.
Looks like Chaos has been waiting for us.
And the starting mission is just packed with increasingly edgy dialogue from a very strong boy that really has some issues with the concept of chaos. There's nothing better than good, bad dialogue in the game, and we're not going to say the actors are responsible for any of these. Even in the worst games, they're really doing what the writers and directors are asking them to do.
That one really is so bad, it's
The
good.
mission is to kill Chaos. That's all I know.
I
Everything
know.
in Stranger of Paradise is so confusing and weird. And by the time you get to the end, you realize that you never technically even fought Chaos. The joke is complete. A game about The tiny sprite people in the first Final Fantasy on Nintendo didn't need a dark retelling, but we got one anyway. Hey, at least this is memorable. Next, over at number 18, we're doing one of my personal favorites from Mortal Kombat 4. Roll the clip.
I never played Mortal Kombat 4.
Going somewhere, Jarek? Jax, I thought you were going to thought I was, what, dead? Like my partner you just tossed off the cliff? I'm sorry, Jax.
What the fuck?
Please, don't drop me. Wait, I promise. Too late, Jarek. You can't drop me. You have to uphold the law. You have to arrest me. Wait. This is brutality. You can't do it. Wrong, Jarek. This is not a brutality. This is a fatality.
Holy fuck, I need to play Mortal Kombat 4! Can I watch that again? That was amazing!
Doing one of my personal favorites from Mortal Kombat 4. Roll the clip.
Going somewhere, Jarek? I thought you were going to thought I was, what, dead? Like my partner you just tossed off the cliff? I'm sorry, Jax. Please, don't drop me. Wait, I promise. Too late, Jarek. You can't drop me. You have to uphold the law. You have to arrest me. Wait. This is brutality. You can't do it. Wrong, Jarek. This is not a brutality. This is a fatality.
Mortal Kombat 4 endings are just out of this world. They're things that you watch, they're cheesy, maybe they're research.
Holy shit, that was amazing! That was amazing! Right back.
Resources weren't there. Everything about them are silly and rough and arguably bad. But these endings need to be seen to believe. And the Jax
That was
ending
incredible.
really takes the crown. Sure, the part where Jax says the immortal line is the best part, but the entire ending is solid gold. Starting with Sonya confronting Jarek. Does anybody even remember who he is? We have to do a quick play-by-play here just to make sense of the ending for ourselves. Buckle up. The criminal throws himself off the ledge in this absurd, goofy scream, and then the tables turn when he pulls Sonya to her apparent death. That's one way to kill a character.
Sonia, this is Major Briggs. Come in. Sonia, this is Jax. Are you there?
Now, as a throwaway moment in a clumsy glitch puppet cutscene made with in-game assets fidgeting around like fighting game characters were never meant to act, Jarek thinks he's won and walks away from the ledge. But no, Jax arrives to deliver swift justice, because Jax is awesome. Jarek speaks totally normally while being held over the ledge by his throat, and Jax has no problem with police brutality. Just
You know, I used to, when I was younger, I would get Jax and Kano mixed up, because Jax was always after Kano. Like, I don't know why I would get them mixed up. I think it's because they both have, like, cybernetic things, like Kano had the eye, and Jax has, like, the arms. I don't know. And also the Mortal Kombat movie. I liked it.
It just throws him off a cliff. It's a very dramatic ending, a lot of characters biting it in less than a minute. All the Mortal Kombat 4 endings match this questionable quality, but this is the best one.
It is pretty impressive.
Next over at number 17, the Jill Sandwich line from the original Resident Evil.
Oh, you're almost a Jill sandwich.
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life.
Now, talking about the dialogue in the original Resident Evil is cliche at this point, but it's cliche for a reason. We played Capcom's horror classic on PS1 in an era where quality video game voice acting was pretty rare. People were still figuring this whole thing out. It's actually surprising to see how quickly the voice acting improved in these games. Resident Evil 2 and 3 on PS1
That
aren't
face.
winning any Oscars, but the translations and performances improved enough to really escape our collective memories. Maybe it's a good thing the silly dialogue in RE1 continues to get passed around in lists like this, because it's really, really funny.
Barry?
What is it?
Oh, that was
It's a
louder.
monster!
Let me take care of this.
That went full on, like, demons mode. You know what I'm talking about?
What
Like the
is it?
Italian movie?
Kenneth was killed too. Maybe by this creature. Anyway, let's report this to Wesker.
Jill Sandwich is the famous line, but there's so
That
much
was
more throughout
weird,
the game.
her
We could make a
inflection in
whole
her
video
voice.
just about that alone, but for now, it's Jill Sandwich. This game, like anything, like we've all got to remember our awkward phase growing up. When life gives you a big Jill Sandwich, you got to take a bite. Now at number 16, we're already scratching the bottom of the barrel, the lowest of the low. Last Alert is a totally forgotten top-down shooter with some of the most cringe dialogue ever, all appearing in the completely absurd boss battle introduction.
Wait a
This
second,
is
where
one
is this?
situation where actors were not hired. The developers found people that
Ooh.
could sort of say the English lines, drag them off the street, and force them into a sound booth. The boss intros of Last Alert are the work of totally confused, possibly drugged amateurs, or their deliberate acts of sabotage by frustrated developers. I don't know. I'm sure there are answers.
I thought I'd find you here.
I thought we'd always do things together, even when we die.
We've received a report that Lloyd and the Force Project jointly developed a stealth aircraft.
What?
You're not expecting me to steal it.
That's what I want. Spartan has already infiltrated into Lloyd's frontline base, Blue Rhinos. He'll be your assistant on this mission.
Well, I owe Lloyd and the Force Project one, and I always make it a rule to get square with these guys.
But the mystery is more fun to imagine. And if we're being totally real with ourselves, this is the only reason to think about the game Last Alert in 2024. Next over at number 15, it's Resident Evil 4. The original version of Resident Evil 4 is a goldmine of corny dialogue and absurd exchanges. You know, the kind of stuff that made us laugh, as much as the game also was creepy. Look, as far as lines go, all the dialogue in Resident Evil 4 belongs on a best lines list, as far as I'm concerned, but they're also weird and awkward.
Oh my
and
God.
really odd that,
Murdered right out the
it's
gate.
Charming. So what is this line all about? While infiltrating a giant castle, Leon and his tiny man nemesis...
Oh, what is this? Oh, I wonder if I can remember. What does he say? I can't remember what the little Napoleon Bonaparte character says. That's awkward.
Talking over a high...
Or we can just go with the overtime line from... well, that's actually not so bad. It's good. It's just an awkward line where Ashley says, it's time for overtime. Something like that. When you beat the game.
Essentially. I'm paraphrasing. But Leon proves he's terrible at improv. Instead of yes-anding Salazar's premise, he denies being part of Salazar's script at all. Salazar's weird refusal to drop the analogy continues with the next line, which is straight up bizarre. He says this.
Well then, why don't you show me what a first-class script is like through your own actions?
So, does Salazar want Leon to follow his script, or does he want Leon to dictate what's in the script? Or, look, it's better we don't think about it. It's still silly. It's ridiculous. Next over at number 14, Ace Combat 6, and this is the epitome of cringeworthy stuff. This game sets itself up as a somewhat grounded war story about a nation's invasion and subsequent occupation by a foreign power. While the nations are fictionalized, the military weapons in the setting are pretty identical to our own. You'll fly real fighter jets and bombing buildings that look modern. That lends the entire game a serious edge, at least until people start talking. Most of the game is pretty standard, silly translation stuff. Nothing too egregious. It happens. Until children start telling occupiers to go dance with the angels, which is kind of like telling someone to go die.
So the kids are just talking shit in this game?
There goes my spare clothing.
The angels are the unstoppable pilots. Dancing is like dogfighting. Sure, I can understand all that logically, but emotionally it feels wrong. It doesn't sound right. It's like someone getting bullied, throwing out a Shakespeare quote to his own bully. Like, it's way too flowery to ever strike fear in a hardened occupier's heart. They'd mostly be confused. I know I was confused when the game...
Maybe that was the goal.
This line, like,
Confuse the fuck out of me. He told me to dance with the angels.
Of hours it takes to complete the campaign.
What is this saying? Welcome to the blah 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 blah. Live chat. Okay.
Another defiant one.
I hope you like Dancing with Angels, because you're going to dance with a lot of them. Good luck with that. Now, over at number 13, of course, you thought we weren't going to mention it. It's Final Fantasy X.
Oh, not the
It's
laughing.
laugh. Okay, look, it's a whole thing. It's a meme. The defenders aren't wrong. This is meant to be funny. It's meant to be an embarrassing moment where the main character, trying to fake it till he makes it, pretends to be happy by laughing like a weird robot and forcing it. While it's well and good, it still feels like being shot through the heart with poison whenever we hear it.
Makes me want to die inside. I remember watching this scene. A big old long cutscene after you beat some stuff in that game, and that happens.
Probably shouldn't laugh anymore.
And we can't even blame the English voice actors. You know, James Arnold Taylor here, the voice of Titus in North America, they're true professionals. Often the best of any project they're part of. But there's no saving this laughing bit. It's just rough. But it's only because it's a scary revelation we only discovered recently. The laughing dialogue in the original Japanese version is far worse. It doesn't even sound human. Listen to this. Next over at number 12, we've talked a lot about bad
It
translation.
doesn't. He didn't play it. It doesn't sound. It's like they were too afraid to be offensive or something and play the Japanese version. Where is it? He said it like they were gonna play it. Okay, whatever.
Dubbing in this list so far, but we've got to reach the pinnacle here. This is the flashpoint where bad acting and bad dialogue mix to create something real special. There's nothing quite like the bad voice acting in House of the Dead 2.
Oh.
The best lines are reserved for our evil villain.
Yeah, I
as he
wouldn't
sits
know.
in the
I played some of that in
corporate tower
arcade.
across the end of the world with a
Never really paid
variety
attention to dialogue.
of ridiculous, weird, undead experiments. It makes no sense. Now, in these shooters, you're mostly just having fun blasting infinite hordes of weird monsters, but at the very end, we get this weird smorgasbord, a veritable buffet of absolute bonkers, crazy lines.
I've been waiting for you, friends.
Goldman,
That was robotic.
do you know what you're doing?
I'm fully aware of what I'm doing. Can't you see? Man committed a sin, disturbing the life cycle of nature. The original sin that man is responsible to protect the life cycle. I have made a creature to rule over mankind.
What?
This is the final battle. Show yourself, our new ruler, the Emperor.
Read by someone that has a cursory knowledge of the English language, but hey, like, he's trying his best. The whole speech is a wonderful piece of space bounty hunters in video games. The original strong female protagonist was
Metroid Other M was terrible.
The dustbin of gaming history after Other M, a game that exposed.
Other M was so bad because, well, for multiple reasons besides it changing the style, you couldn't use any of your weapons all because of the authorization of the commander guy. Like that was their excuse, and it was just so. It was a bad game, but it was not developed by standard Metroid people. It was developed by the guys who did like Dead or Alive, if I recall correctly.
In the worst way by revealing she's both extremely boring and also nowhere near as cool as our imaginations led us to believe. We've got Metroid Dread and Metroid Prime 4, of course correct, but back in 2010,
Metroid Prime
things weren't
4.
looking so good for Samus.
I
Just
want
watch
that.
the opening introduction of Metroid Other M.
Never again will I encounter the baby. Never. The finality of it struck me once again.
The finale of it struck her as I ate Chinese food on stream.
Mission completed. The planet Zebes was annihilated, and all Metroids were exterminated.
A simple report. Almost dull even. But it felt momentous to me.
Honestly, the game itself isn't that bad. Going back after the initial shock of the story has worn off, there's really nothing wrong with the game except that story. The opening cutscene involves Samus picking up a distress signal called the Baby's Cry from a place called the Bottle Ship, because there's a baby and a bottle, and there's a baby Metroid and Samus's brand new mother issues, and I can't make any sense of this nonsense. This is like weirdly obvious and on the nose and painfully dry, and Samus's droning voice filling in blanks we didn't really need to be filled. Samus explains like what a baby's cry is in this cutscene, and we have confirmation the actress was told to deliver her lines exactly as they're presented in the game. This was their vision for the game. Maybe it was a good thing the series took a break for a while. Hey, still, we're happy to have it back. We still love Samus. Next over at number 10.
That was a
here's
terrible game.
Christopher Walken impression in Dead to Rights. Yes, Dead to Rights. I mean, throw a dart at any individual moment in Dead to Rights. A game that, you know, I really liked, but definitely only existed because, you know, Max Payne was very influential at the time, but like, you get an absurd piece of dialogue, a bad line read, or just a baffling cutscene often here. Let's combine all three with an early level where our hero Jack hunts down the sleazy strip club owner Augie, and while he's infiltrating the club, his girlfriend performs a striptease dance sequence that's also like just like a really awkward, embarrassing moment in video game history. Make sure the door to your bedroom is wedged shut for this one, kids, because mom walking in while you're trying to get through it's a mess. This is all a prelude to the real show, where Jack walks in on his target playing poker and we're treated to complete tonal whiplash after blasting a dozen goons with automatic weapons. The villain is given an inexplicable Christopher Walken impression. Apparently, the developers thought the voice actor was so good with impressions they let him have fun. The results are fun for all the wrong reasons. This guy sounds completely ridiculous in a way that we'll never forget. He only has a few boring stock lines. The words themselves don't really matter. It's all about how he says them. It's the delivery. And this delivery is just self-indulgent.
Are you folks in the mood to watch Long Legs?
Whoa.
Should I put it on?
Officer Slade.
I could put it on, but it'd be through this.
Like tonight. You want to join us? $100 ante. Or is that...
I remember when I played Dead to Rights and that I was like, is Christopher Walken drunk? I thought it was really Christopher Walken and it was just... I thought he wasn't trying. He wasn't like paid much. Let me hear this again now. It's been a long time. Many years.
Actor was so good with impressions, they let him have fun. The results are fun for all the wrong reasons. This guy sounds completely ridiculous in a way that we'll never forget. He only has a few boring stock lines. The words themselves don't really matter. It's all about how he says them. It's the delivery. And this delivery is just self-indulgent.
This game was kind of a big deal because it was like a little bit mixed with Grand Theft Auto.
Officer Slade. What brings you out on a night like tonight? You want to join us?
Wait, it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Christopher Walken. What the fuck?
The words themselves don't really matter. It's all about how he says them. It's the delivery. And this delivery is just self-indulgent to the extreme.
Whoa, Officer Slade. What brings you out on a night like tonight? You want to join us? $100 ante. Or is that too rich for your cop salary?
It's real simple, Blatz. You lie, you die. I want to know why your boys knocked off my father tonight.
Whoa, hey, your old man's dead. Gee, I'm all torn up by the news.
Yeah, you will be.
Take him down!
Number 9, speaking of self-indulgent to the extreme, as much as we love the guy, there's no way we couldn't get through this without mentioning a Hideo Kojima game. This man takes the biggest swings, both emotionally and conceptually, and not every single choice completely works. Sometimes they're meant to be funny, sometimes they're serious, and sometimes we have no idea. Chalk this one up as no idea, because the ending of Metal Gear Solid 5 is a strange mess. And honestly, I don't know if we can even blame Big Kojima for this one, but let's get into it. Very late in the game, player character Big Boss is taken to the secret hangar where a new model of Metal Gear is being prepared. So, before it can be launched, the machine is hijacked by a psychic child you may or may not remember, and his living fireball friend that you also may or may not remember, and they're trying to start...
I don't want to remember them.
Also, this psychic child later joins a terrorist group and threatens the world with a totally different Metal Gear armed with nuclear weapons. Anyway, this is just sort of the thing that happens in these games. Big Boss watches on as this Metal Gear slowly...
Talking about Psycho Manus.
All while the main villain, Skullface, which, yes, that's his name, he bellows dramatically at the machine.
Wait!
Oh! Good old.
Doing this. Such a lust for revenge. Oh!
This guy loves drama and clearly hearing himself talk. Before this cutscene, you're forced to sit in the back of a vehicle and listen to this guy just monologue while you drive all the way across the map to this secret hangar.
To unite America and the entire world.
I've never actually beaten Metal Gear Solid 5. I got so addicted to like building up my base that I never got around to beating that game. It's another game that I haven't beaten. Oh wow, he does monologue. It is a Hideo Kojima game though. This is on for another 5+ minutes.
Now, the end of Metal Gear Solid 5 is controversial because we really don't know how much of the game was actually completed by Hideo Kojima himself. There are reports, rumors, speculation all over the place. Either way, this ending sequence just has some of the weirdest moments and the funniest lines.
To be
Next over number
continued.
8, it's Devil May Cry, the original one, the best one. I'm kidding. I mean, I'm not. That's my personal opinion, but it's for stuff like this. Play the line here, guys.
I should have saved you. I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light.
Not that line. I forgot that
The
was.
despair, the agony, the emotion.
Oh my
We
god.
started Devil May Cry hoping for like a hype action game where you fight weird monsters in a spooky castle with guns and swords, and what we got was cinema here. Okay, this is another infamous Capcom line, and that's been parodied and repeated to death, but we just had to hear it again. The sobbing cry, the weird line read, and everything about this awkward line just
Okay,
doesn't
never
work,
mind.
and it makes us laugh. We should be filled with adrenaline and high-octane, extreme action feelings, but instead we're just surprised by Dante's desire, his drama. We want to fill your dark soul with light, Dante. It'll be fine, man. Get over it. And considering how much Devil May Cry 3 in the series informed his character, it's hard to imagine
big
this
drop.
pouting crybaby in the iconic red coat. Dante is usually effortlessly cool. I love Devil May Cry 1, but sometimes going back to it feels like traveling to another dimension.
Oh shit.
You should be used to this sort of thing.
A little bit too loud, maybe. Oh, this is a transition to the next level? Okay, we'll take it. I've been looking for the desert level in this game. Oh yeah, I've never been here, I don't think. Whoa, a bit buggy right here.
Even as a child, I had powers. There's demonic blood in me.
Next over at number 7, Crispy Critters from Atomic Heart.
Oh yeah, Crispy
Now,
Critters.
this is a game about the corrupt heart of communist utopian dreams and stuff. No, what it's actually about is a very silly guy saying crispy critters a lot.
Crispy critters, man.
Really, this horror, Bioshock-inspired weird FPS slapped us in the face early and often with the main character's bizarre catchphrase. He just says crispy critters a lot.
Crispy critters, man.
Whenever something scary happens, he says it. He breaks the tension with that.
Crispy critters, man.
What, are we missing something? Is this supposed to be like a sci-fi universe building thing, like different slang from a different universe? I don't know. It's just like the game has a lot of really good surreal dread and interesting moments, and then the most juvenile BS when he says this. It's a
Crispy
weird
Critters?
game.
Yeah,
It's really
it was a really
swings for
bizarre
fences
situation in the
and
game.
takes some big risks. And Crispy Critters was definitely a big risk. Maybe a swing and a miss.
What is this?
Next over at number 6, we've mostly stuck to cutscenes and critical dialogues. Stuff you'll never miss. Cutscenes are important for plenty of videos.
Holy cow.
It's the incidental dialogue that really immerses you. Like whenever guards in a sneaking game talk, they're not just making you feel more connected to your environment, they're also sharing possibly important information you need to know. Is a guard alerted? Are they hunting you? Have they given up? Are they giving exposition? All this is so important, and some games do it better than others. Now, case in point, one of our favorite older FPS games is also stunningly stupid. Every once in a while,
Far Cry?
in the original Far Cry, after throwing a rock to distract a guard, they'll give up the search by emphatically making sure you know that they don't care.
Whatever that was, I don't care. Don't know what that was.
Like, why does that person look different?
Found him!
He really should care. This has to be a breach of protocol, and the guards are like this everywhere. They all bark like college frat bros after eating like a lot of sugar or something. They're all hyped up. They're all jacked up. And this completely ridiculous little line from the original Far Cry is so wrong we'll never forget it. This guy doesn't care, so why should we?
Whatever it was, it's not without trouble.
Oh shit. Okay.
Get back! There you are! I'm coming for you!
Oh, come on, don't fall. Oh, I got it. Wing bow, zealot. Okay, got it.
Now down at number 5, if you lived during the initial launch of Destiny, you didn't miss out on this absurd line.
The Hive haven't been on Earth in centuries. That wizard came from the moon.
Here going my homunculus.
Thought we had them contained there. The darkness could be a lot closer than we think.
Now, this line is a pure distillation of everything silly about Destiny, as spoken by an actor passively aggressively fulfilling his contractual obligations. Now, Peter Dinklage, the actor, riding high on Game of Thrones fame, was tasked with the little robot buddy role that delivers exposition. And while he
Peter Dinklage sucks so bad.
Developers Bungie probably a lot of money, he wasn't particularly good.
Like, imagine being a little person and you know, a midget freak, and then causing other midgets to not get a job because of your "don't upset small people." He's such a fucking
The
loser.
most infamous line comes from a cutscene that was quickly removed from the game completely. Even if you somehow play Destiny 1 today, apparently you've never actually seen
Like,
it.
speak for yourself.
Even the defenders
And only
admit
yourself.
that Bungie knew something was wrong here.
Little man.
I mean, they knew it was so wrong, they ended up replacing all of Peter Dinklage's lines in Destiny 1. He was totally replaced by veteran voice actor Nolan North, the GOAT. Now, as much as we want to criticize Bungie and Destiny, Nolan North definitely brought more of the right energy to this role. Still, That Wizard Came from the Moon is a legendary game line forever. Next over, number 4,
Oh, I can't get...
Forspoken. Now, Forspoken is the punching bag. It's Square Enix's attempt at an open
It's not
world
so bad, it's
magic
good though, it's
action
just
game,
bad.
and it was hampered from the start. You can only assume that this game was designed specifically for, like, the Buffy crowd, a kind of MCU quirky, quippy type of writing that's gotten pushback from people, and I think this is also probably one of the worst examples
Oh,
of this
I
style
made
of
it.
dialogue, because that has to actually be funny. If the developers had a time machine, maybe the
Oh,
lines wouldn't
okay.
get ragged on as much, but it's also worth stating that some of these lines are really bad. Listen to them.
But it's not so bad.
Well, definitely with my assistance.
I did not just do that.
We did.
I just moved with my mind.
But our connection has somehow awoken some abilities.
I just moved it with my mind.
I just keep hearing I.
I just moved with my freaking mind! Yeah, okay, that is something I do now. I do magic, talk to sentient cuffs, kill jacked up beasts. You know what? I'll probably fly next.
Now you're just being ridiculous.
Oh, that's too far. Good to know there's a line.
If you could just master these new abilities, with my help, of course.
Did you not just see me take out that gnarly beast?
What are they just gonna take?
Oh, bring it, you mangled monsters.
Now, we've talked about Forspoken before, but it can't be ignored. When it comes to bad lines, this game is like the reigning modern-day champ. These lines aren't really funny, and they aren't fun. They're kind of the opposite of so bad they're good. They're just bad. And there's a lot of them here. This is
Yeah, so,
bad lines.
and this is 20 ridiculous game dialogues that are so bad they're good. And you guys extended it all branch to Forspoken, even though it's just bad. Because you're fucking cucks. Sorry. I had to do it.
Us like waves on a beast. Forspoken isn't an endurance test because it's a long game with a giant map full of like boring stuff to do. It's because you'll need to build up a tolerance to the weird, annoyingly quippy, unfunny dialogue.
No, it's also not a good game. I played it, I know.
Well, no, you would call this anyway.
I swear to God, asshole, show yourself.
Show myself, I've shown. I've shown you. I can't get more shown. Show myself in tears.
Where are you?
Right here.
Oh.
At the end of your arm. The thing that you so fruitlessly tried to remove.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can get down over here.
Oh, hello, yes. Oh, perhaps you're smarter than you look.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You, the one talking to me right now, are this... cuff?
Now at number 3, we're hitting all the classics here. Zelda Wand of Gamelon is a game that shouldn't have ever existed, and it's the type of game Nintendo would never allow to happen again. 3 Legend of Zelda
Good old
games
Philips
developed
CDI.
outside of Nintendo for little-known Philips CDI console. And look at this, like the results speak for themselves. Link, The Faces of Evil, and Zelda.
No,
Wand of Gamelon
I got
are
new clothing
legendary
items.
for their
Or rather,
bewildering
equipment.
cartoon cutscenes. If you've ever seen a pixelated cartoon Link saying he can't wait to bomb some Dodongos, then you know what we're talking about here.
That old Ganon's no match for the king.
Link, go to Gamelon and find my father.
Yay!
I can't wait to bomb some Dodongos.
Now, in 1 Gamelon, the deranged visuals get even weirder when Zelda hunts down an evil wizard, defeating him with some random item. Every boss is defeated by throwing a single item at them. He melts into a puddle. And then after the guy exclaims, "You killed me," Zelda replies with perfect comic timing.
Good!
Killed me.
Good.
This might be the best dialogue on the list. It's quick, it's effective, and it lives rent-free in all of our brains. Whenever anything bad happens, I wish we could just speak with the same cold authority as Zelda.
Of course I'm on your side, but I still have to sell the stuff. Just pick what you want.
Regenerates 5% total health every 3 seconds.
Now down at number 2,
2% of
does a
total
single
flux.
sound effect
Oh, so this is
count as
a.
line?
Oh, that's my.
We're gonna count it here
okay.
because the bizarre grunt from the crate moving minigame in Shenmue 2 might be the most singularly unconvincing thing in the entire game.
Okay, unless I tell you otherwise, keep pushing forward.
Sure.
Oh, at the end of the line. The end of the lines that are
Now,
bad.
the voice acting in Shenmue 2 is unique. Let's go with that. But this grunt is just a very special sound. It makes us laugh every time we hear it.
Yeah.
Left.
It's so good that the developer of the underground indie JRPG, Lisa, The Painful, used this same grunt as a sample for the bodybuilding boss music. And now, before we leave Shenmue behind, it is really worth mentioning that Shenmue 3, more recently, managed to get back most of the same voice actors, like a full 18 years later. That's dedication to this stuff. Whether you love it or hate it, we respect it.
Right.
I assume I'm. Oh, whoa, whoa.
Right.
That's important. Ladder. Oh, I can jump up there too.
Now down at number 1, Earth Defense Force 6. It's an embarrassment of riches when it comes to hilarious lines. You should still play the game, but there are just so many lines. We had to whittle our choice from an array of candidates. But we've selected the winner. It's this one.
Big ladders.
Roll it.
No doubt. Those things are aliens. This is not just a world war. It is a space war.
It's actually a repeat from EDF 5. It's a long story, but like, listen to it. It's worth repeating. The confusion in the soldier's voice, the silliness of the delivery, the perfection.
It's not a world war, it's a space war. I have not heard that.
Space war. Everything is funnier in space. We should feel lucky that the EDF series is single-handedly keeping
Oh, look at that.
the bad video
A whole
game
place to
dialogue
go through.
lit.
No doubt. Those things are aliens. This is not just a world war. It is a space war. The gigantic ship is ascending.
Leave the gigantic ship to the Air Force. Ground troops, shoot down the drones.
It's absolutely purposeful.
He even used the same word. You leave the gigantic ship
Are
to.
borderline incoherent at times, and we love them for it. Now, here's hoping that the space wars never stop. Those are 20 unbelievable, hilarious, or plain stupid lines from video games. There's a reason.
There was actually a handful on there I'd never heard. Mainly like the first one. Most of those I knew, but damn, that was actually good. Not really. I mean, them including Forspoken was retarded, but what else would I expect? So I have a newer 7-hour conspiracy theory video from Maker that I was thinking about digging into. I do have one other video I want to watch, which is I'm probably not going to watch the whole video, but it's just an after 100% review of Black Myth Wukong, which I was kind of interested in. So, yeah. What time is it? It's 11:25 p.m. You know, it's still early. Might fit in a movie. Or not. I don't really know. Let's check out this. What's he got to say about
What's
this?
going on, everybody? Mordem here, this time bringing you my review after 100% for Black Myth Wukong, a third-person action-adventure based on Chinese mythology and the novel Journey to the West. Now, to get my usual stuff out of the way, I review games after 100% all the time to set me apart from other reviewers on the platform, and while that does include the achievements, it also includes a lot more than that. There's a link below to a video covering everything I go over, and my Steam profile is public and linked below as well. Now, specifically in regards to this game, it's important to mention that I did not get a review key for this, but even if I had, I definitely would not have hit the embargo or anything, as in a situation that was similar to what Elden Ring wound up being for me, I really had to compile information and work on figuring things out for myself in step with the community, really, though I did use a few guides as they were being put together to really puzzle some of this stuff out. With that in mind, at the time of this recording, those guides are almost complete, and by the time this video goes live, they might be very close, if not done. So I'm going to link to the two I relied on most heavily, while I was also trying to figure some of this stuff out just on my own. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and move on to the rest of this. So starting with an overview. As I mentioned, third-person action combat game. Now, I have seen a lot of people arguing about whether this is or is not a Souls-like, and let me tell you, as somebody who has reviewed hundreds of games, I think getting really specific about genre labels is typically a waste of time. But to me personally, I would say this game feels like somebody took some minor Souls mechanics and slapped them into a God of War game. And as such, this game's pretty much entire focus is on combat and uncovering secrets to thus enable more combat, if anything. And if that's your thing, this game does that incredibly well. But if you don't enjoy that, realistically, this game has nothing to offer you, which is what I'm going to try to highlight over the course of this one. Now, in order to do that, there's almost certainly going to be what some people would consider minor spoilers in like the...
Okay. A new McKinney family tape came out, by the way, folks. All right. So that game is, yeah, the God of War games are abysmal in my opinion, so I just don't care. Whoops, did I just press? Come on. All right, let's check out the start of this, and then, I don't know. Let's see what the start of this goes like.
The concept of four-dimensional beings, often referred to as 4D beings, explores the idea of entities that exist in a higher dimensional space beyond our familiar three-dimensional world. While we perceive...
Huh. Fun. So, I'm going to put something else on, because I'm just not in the mood. I'm just not in the mood tonight. Oddity was great. Kind of in the mood to watch Ghost Watch. I'm going to put on Ghost Watch, and we'll see how that goes. Also, its formatting actually lends itself to me keeping the chat open. That's a double win. This is from 1992, and it's presented as like a real BBC broadcast, just to clarify. So, enjoy if you can. Honestly, how do I make... Okay. I can't full screen this without doing that, so how can I get rid of just the menu? I know, oh god, it's so hard to see from fucking here. I know that I can do this because I've used the function so many times before. Open media, it's just tools. Actually, if I play this, okay, it won't. Let me quickly get up and actually figure this out. Like, ah! So view docked playlist. That's fine. So status bar. No. View. Always. Oh, okay. Here we go. Always on top. Okay, so no, that makes it so that I cannot. Minimal interface. Here we go.
The film you're about to watch is a unique live investigation of the supernatural. It contains material which some viewers may find to be disturbing.
Well, then how the hell do I control this? Okay, whatever. Anyways, this is a good one. It gets they really go for it with this one. It takes about, honestly, they don't pull the rug on you with this movie until about a whole hour in. They give you a really long build up, and it's kind of epic. Go ahead and adjust first audio, because this should have been different. Now before. There we go. All right.
The program you're about to watch is a unique live investigation of the supernatural. It contains material which some viewers may find to be disturbing.
Okay, we got it.
No creaking gates, no Gothic towers, no shutter windows. Yet for the past 10 months, this house has been the focus of an astonishing barrage of supernatural activity. This footage was shot by parapsychologists investigating the case. Now you're about to see one of the incidents.
I don't think this will make it any better.
Its reputation. Let's see what you think.
Yeah, it just makes it worse.
Mom said if you don't. What?
Characters over there dead. This game. The minute the girls are going to start screaming, it's like, shut up! Everyone be quiet! Wait a second. I think I know where I am.
Mom. 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 Mom, he's back. He's back. Mom. 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 Help me. Help me. Help me.
All right. It's the last boss area. God sake. I only dropped 6 XP. Didn't we just have full...
So welcome live this Halloween night to the first ever TV Ghost Watch. That's the scene in Foxhill Drive in Northolt. Our outside broadcast units are there. That's the house where it might all happen tonight, or it might not. We shall see. We're going to investigate one of the most baffling and fascinating areas of human experience, the supernatural. Tonight,
I will say this movie gets pretty crazy, and I don't mean like scary, but the actual level of destruction is pretty nuts. Oh, man.
Ghost hunting in an
Okay, fuck. Let me get that chat back up. I did something wrong with this. I don't know how to use this. Try not to show butt cracks. I'm trying to stand up.
So welcome live this Halloween night to the first ever TV Ghost Watch.
All right, good.
That's the scene in Foxhill Drive in Northfield. Our outside broadcast units are there. That's the house where it might all happen tonight, or it might not. We shall see. We're going to investigate one of the most baffling and fascinating areas of human experience, the supernatural. Tonight, television is going ghost hunting in an unprecedented scientific experiment. We hope to show you, for the first time, irrefutable proof that ghosts really do exist. I'm joined in the studio by Dr. Lynn Pascoe to give her expert technical advice.
Hopefully it's more visible. I lower the brightness.
Expert opinion about the supernatural from both here and America. You'll be telling us your ghost stories. And as our tale unfolds, we'll be taking your calls about just what you're seeing. Well, let's go to the main location of our program, the house in Foxhill Drive. Craig Charles, a well-known ghost hunter, is our reporter. Craig, how are you?
Hi, Michael. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm taking the valley, man. Later on, we're going to be interviewing the medium who tried unsuccessfully to exorcise the house behind me. We'll hear from Elvis lately. However, with me is Pam Ailey, the mum of the house. Hello, Pam. And she's going to take us through the whole spine-tingling story. And after that, you can share with us your own supernatural experience on our very own Halloween switchboard. Over to you, Smithy.
Thanks, Craig. We'll come back to you later on. Right, this part of the studio is your part of the studio this evening because this is the phone number we'd like you to call us on. You can now see our Ghost Watch team are here, ready to take your calls. We particularly want to hear from you if you've had any personal experiences of ghosts or the
That's a weird phone number.
Call us now.
As a matter of fact, of course, Mike Smith has a very particular reason for keeping a beady eye on the proceedings tonight. Michael?
Well, so would you if your wife had just told you she was going to spend the best part of a night in the most haunted house in Britain.
Of course, we're talking about Sarah Green, and Sarah is our reporter who'll be spending the night actually inside our haunted house. She's very keen to do it, I understand, Mike.
Oh, yeah, jumped at the chance. Actually, so did I, because we've both been interested in ghosts and that weird sort of stuff. And to be honest, I could never have sat at home tonight on my own and watched this programme. I'm safer here.
All right, Mike, thanks a lot. Now, confrontations, of course, with the supernatural can be devastatingly real. Let's find out what effect they've had on Mrs. Early and her family.
So, how destructive has the haunting actually been?
I kept on breaking stuff. We weren't doing anything.
I lost track, really. I have plates, teapots, cups, a broken tap. We got this thick smell, so disgusting, from the tap. Stains got on clothes from nowhere, out of thin air.
And then this waiting.
The man came and, well, he couldn't understand it. He said it was impossible. Everybody said it was impossible. I said, great, you come and live with impossible. So many things have happened. You start thinking, I don't know, maybe you've done something wrong. It's wrecked my house, my home, my family.
Okay. Over to you, Michael.
Dr. Lynn Pascoe, it's a disturbing interview, that, isn't it?
Mm.
You investigated the Northfield poltergeist for 8 months, wasn't it? What can be done for people like Mrs. Early, who, according to evidence in that film, I mean, clearly she's shattered.
Well, the first thing we can all do for a start is believe them.
No. Well, it's not always that easy, is it?
Yes, but you can see, it's obvious these people are desperate for help. It makes me so angry when you still get people out there denying that these things even happen.
All right, Dr. Pascoe, for the moment, thank you very much indeed. Lynn Pascoe will be giving her...
It makes me so angry when people disagree with me.
For those night owls among, she will be here with...
I was just translating what she said.
Right through the night. Well, now it's high time we met our intrepid ghost watcher, Sarah Green. First hospital watch Sarah, now ghost watch. Bit different.
Well, I suppose the truth is I love a mystery, and who knows, we may get to the bottom of this one. Actually, my own experience with things ghostly, albeit very brief, was so intriguing, I thought I might get the chance to learn a bit more tonight.
Well, perhaps we might get a chance to hear more of your story later on.
Yeah, if we get an opportunity, I'd love to. Actually, Smithy was there when I had my encounter with what I think was a ghost, but he wasn't quite as struck as me, though, were you?
Well, no. Well, yes.
I mean, I think this is the right environment to study these things.
Yeah, that's why I get sent out here to the front line and you stay all cosy and safe and sound in the studio, isn't it? Well, good luck, and I'll see you later. Now, before we go into the lion's den, I'd like to introduce you to Alan Demescu. He is an electronics engineer and a member of the Society for Psychical Research. Now, Alan, we have a whole array of technology here with
Oh,
us.
this is the deep,
What
dark
are you
area.
hoping to discover tonight?
Well, the paranormal covers a wide range of aspects, but tonight we're concentrating on what we call spontaneous cases.
What are they exactly?
Well, anything from inexplicable noises, footsteps, knocking through to voices, presences, the feeling of being watched, electrical interference, so, you know, your TV lights, telephone, right along at the far end of the spectrum to actual full-blown visual apparitions.
Now, we've got our own BBC scanner here, but what are you using it for exactly?
Well, we've got a remote video camera mounted in every room. We have our the image analysis equipment linked in. The tape is time-coded, and atmospheric condition and temperature are logged on screen by sensors. Those are like the little burglar alarms with the red lights, except that they're triggered by cold instead of heat. Intense cold spots are a secondary phenomenon. We also want to detect low and high frequencies. Basically, any aberration at all could be a signal or a clue.
Well, we hope you get lots of both of those. We'll leave you to it, Alan, and we'll go back outside, where I'm going to be able to introduce you to two of the very important people who are at the front line of this vigil, as psychical researchers call it. Now, the first person is actually standing right behind the camera, and if he hands it over to me, you'll notice two things. First of all,
I just want to respawn.
His hand is a lot steadier than mine, and secondly, that he bears a remarkable resemblance to Mike Getting. Yes, you do. Chris Miller.
Hi.
Now, Chris, does this camera differ in any way from the sort of camera you'd normally use on an outside broadcast?
Well, it's a normal lightweight mobile camera, but in this case it's been adapted so we can use infrared as well.
Can we see how that works,
Yeah,
Chris? And I'll hand this back to you.
Show
What's
you.
the best way to demonstrate it?
Well, if we can kill the lights.
Okay, Clive, can we knock the lights down now?
There you go.
Right, how's that?
I can see you quite clearly now.
Yes, so can I.
There's like one around this corner, isn't there?
I'm quite close to you though. I mean, what
Nope.
about the people down here? If we move down here, how fast can you move with that thing on your shoulder?
Quite fast.
It's not bad. Who needs a steady cam when you've got Chris Miller? That's what I say.
Good lord.
Oh yes, there we are.
There they are.
Okay.
Somebody wants to get in the frame.
Well, they can see what they look like. Tell you what though, this means for us, doesn't it, that nothing can lurk in the shadows.
That's right, there's no hiding place.
Absolutely. Right, let's have the lights back up again then.
I'm going with.
Okay, now we've got our vision back. I think it's time to meet sound.
Need to
Now,
respawn at my
sound
last
mind
spot.
here,
I'm a
Mike
bit lost.
Elton. Not only can this gentleman hear an ant scratching its back legs at 50 yards, he is also the unofficial chairman of the Adrian Edmondson Lookalike Society.
Right on.
So if you're not scared of ghosts, you're scared of that. How are you feeling about tonight? Are you a bit nervous at all?
We'll see.
How about you, Chris?
I'm okay.
Are we ready to go in then?
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll see you later. And
Okay, I didn't make that jump. Another
once more to the
death.
breach. Do I have to go first? Yeah, typical. Come on then, cat.
She said once more into the breach.
There we are. Hi, Pam. Now, oh look, here we are. This is the burger alarm that Alan Demescu was talking about. Can we make ourselves at home?
Oh, that is a physical barrier. Okay.
Suzanne? Can I join you for a bit of apple bobbing?
Well, we'll let Sarah and the jolly team settle down there for the night. I wonder if they'll remain as jolly as that all evening. We shall find out. Dr. Pascoe, let me ask you, why did you choose that particular house?
Well, it was a decision we made over many weeks, really. What happened is that we ran a computer program of all the haunted locations in the UK, and then we did a census of all the various investigators, and they were all unanimous that Foxhill had more tangible phenomena on record than Well, I was going to say.
Oh, now I
any place
am
in the world,
stuck,
but certainly any place in the UK.
We'll see evidence of that, of course, later on in the program. What's the
Oh
chance,
my
do you think,
God.
of us seeing anything tonight?
I don't honestly know. Sometimes we saw nothing for weeks, and then other times things were coming through thick and fast. I mean, so much so that we had difficulty logging it all. I mean, some nights it was like being in a circus or a war zone.
A war zone?
It's that bad.
What about Halloween? Will that make any difference, do you think?
Yeah, I think it will. Certainly there are more reports on Halloween than almost any other night of the year, but maybe that's because people expect to see things. I'm taking out no bets. I'm hopeful, though.
All right, yes, we're all hopeful. Let's take a phone call. Well, Max Smith, what do you got for us?
This is Emma Stableford, and she's from Slough.
Thank you. Emma, hello.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
I did have a story, but there's actually something else I'd like to say to Dr. Pascoe.
Go on.
Is this enemy locked?
I feel a bit foolish.
Oh, don't worry about that, Emma. Never worries me.
Well, you know at the beginning, when you showed the real footage of that haunted bedroom?
Uh-huh.
Well, I know it was dark, but I was sure I could see a figure standing behind, against the wall, just by the curtain.
Yeah.
Very, very vague, but definitely a figure there. Oh, a woman, a person's body at least, standing there in a black dress.
Emma, I've examined that particular piece of film many times, and so I'm
I'll
not
tell you
sure.
what to do, Emma. If you can actually spot up the specific point on that tape where you saw this figure, and tell one of our operators, we'll actually put it back to the point where you tell us, and then I'll get Dr. Pascoe here to have a good look at it, okay?
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Before you go, Emma, could you give a full description of what you thought you saw to somebody manning the phones, please? Can you do that?
Yeah, I will.
Great.
Okay, Emma, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I'll tell you what we'll do. While we search for that piece of tape, let's find out what Sarah's up to.
Sarah, did you hear that? Somebody thinks they've seen a presence in the house.
Today?
Yeah, you've not noticed anything this evening, have you?
No, nothing to report from here yet, except how absolutely useless I am at apple bobbing. Come on, dolls. Yes, you've done it. I can see. Who's that? Can you hear that?
Good Lord.
Can you hear this?
I was watching.
Are you hearing? It's coming from it. Utter beast.
Beast! I got it! Look at that twist on Mike Smith, isn't it?
There's my body from last time I died.
Well, I had a bet with your husband that I could get a 4-letter word like it on television, and I nearly did as well. It was Beast, B-E-A-S-T, Beast. You had a class act.
I think that is such a cheap shot, I have to say. I mean, you know I can take a joke with the best of them, but we're all
Well,
keyed up in
look, I'm
here.
sorry if I'm being insensitive, but it is my brief. They said, Craig, come along, be insensitive. Can you get out the way a minute? You're in the middle of my
with
close-up.
pleasure.
They were in on it, they were in on it. Give me that.
You
give me
were.
that. Sorry, chaps, I love you all. If there's any ghosts, keep them to yourselves.
Love us and leave us, go on.
I love you.
All right, dissipate
You
amongst
mean
you.
smoke,
I'm gonna
Mike Smith,
respawn.
you're in on this. I think you're in a certain amount of trouble with her indoors for that little situation. I'm sorry there, Doctor. Our producer, in fact, created a happening in the house just in case we were on a wild ghost hunt, so to speak.
We aren't, I promise you.
All right. Well, let's go back to Sarah now. Sarah, when you're ready, let's hear the real story of strange happenings at Foxhill Drive. And by the way, have you got over your shock yet?
Yes, I have recovered now, thank you, Michael. Let me fill you in on what's been happening here so far. Let's face it, there's violence at some time or another in every part of London, and this estate is no exception. But there are some days, and certainly nights, where Mrs. Early and her two daughters would rather be out on the street than right here within their own four walls. Let's go upstairs for a moment.
Let me check the deluge.
It all began in here on December 28th, 1991. Who was the first person to experience something?
Suzanne. We had a bit of an argument because Suzanne wanted to stay up and watch some film and I wouldn't let her. Go on, Susie, say what happened next. She went to bed about...
I was in bed. Mum came in to tuck me in. Instead, she just stood by the bed, looking at me. At least I thought it was her. And then she just turned and went.
The thing is, I didn't tuck them in that night. I always do. But that night, I fell asleep in front of the television. I told her she must have been dreaming. Then a few days later, it was my room.
Should we go and have a look?
days later, these terrible noises woke me coming from the walls, like a thudding.
All around you?
Yes, like the whole room was going to come apart.
Did anybody else hear it?
Yes, Suzanne Kim heard it.
Kimmy, if you heard it too...
Oh no, he locked on!
What sort of a noise was it?
I was screaming, I was shouting, what is it, what is it?
Well, I didn't know what to say, they were that terrified, so I said it was pipes, it's central heating. So afterwards, whenever Kim heard something, she'd say, it's pipes, pipes is here.
He's gonna lock on
So
again.
by this time, Kim, you could
Yep.
actually feel something as well, could you? Whereabouts was it coming from?
There,
What is it that's over there?
pipes, that's where he hides.
Does he live there? Where does he live then? Anywhere?
Downstairs.
What are the upper blocks? That was the... Okay. I'm so fucking confused about where I'm supposed to go.
Kim, how do you know he lives down there?
Because I saw him through the crack. He was there, he was staring at me.
What happened after you saw him?
I drew a picture of him.
Have you kept it?
Yeah.
Can we have a look? Have a look.
Oh, I think I know how to get back to where I
And
want
is
to
that
go.
exactly how he looked when you saw him?
Yeah, he was disgusting. Really disgusting.
Good picture.
No.
Thank you very much.
That's the Max
Tell you what, why don't we put it up somewhere where I can see it?
Yeah.
Where's a good place?
The fridge in the kitchen.
In the fridge? There we go. Be alright putting him up there, do you think?
Yeah, because he likes everything freezing and really cold.
There was something else, wasn't there?
Yes, there's also this. One day I looked in Susie's exercise book from school.
Isn't this where the aberrant night is?
Oh, I was so shocked. I said to her, did you write this?
Oh, that's
I was,
right, there
I
was
was going
two.
to hit her, I was so mad.
It wasn't me. I don't even write like that.
So I said to her, who was it then? Who was it?
Yeah. Who? Or what? Michael.
Lots of questions there that need answering, and perhaps we'll have a chance to answer some of them tonight. I'm just actually hearing in my earpiece that Mike Smith has some news. Mike, what's happening?
Thanks very much. Thank you. I've got 8 or 9 phone calls here, which are like Emma Stableford's we had earlier on. They too have seen a mysterious dark figure in the background of that shot in the children's bedroom. Michael?
Dark, mysterious figure, Doctor.
Have we got that sequence ready yet?
Yes,
Can we see that tape?
yeah, I think we can. I think we can see it right now. Let's roll the tape. There you are, up there on the screen. That's the tape you wanted, isn't it?
Sleep, turn the light on. Mum said if you don't... Right.
Now, this is the point where Emma Stapleford, our caller, says she could identify that dark, mysterious figure in the corner of the room. Don't see anything myself, do you?
Yeah, I see a person standing there.
Yeah, that's what you wanted. Yeah.
Took me a minute to see it when I was first watched this movie, but then I noticed it and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Looks like Jason is
All right.
standing there.
Uh-huh.
Can we go forward slowly?
Sure. Yeah, I'm doing that now.
Oh.
Mm. Well, that's good enough.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I need more areas.
I can't see anything now myself. False alarm?
Yeah, I think I can see what's happened. You see the shadow cast by the curtain there? You see on the curtain on the left-hand side?
Not really. I'll tell you what we'll do. We've got a piece of, I haven't wheeled that piece of sophisticated technology in here. You can actually use a light pencil on the screen there just to identify exactly the area that you're talking about. Perhaps you, yes, that's right. Just draw it as you would a normal pencil.
Right. I think there's a sort of shape there, a face maybe, and a human form. I think the shadow is close.
I wonder,
I hate
that
these
thing where you
characters.
put your dressing gown on the back of a bedroom door and in a certain light. You look at it in the middle of the night and it looks like a human form or face. I mean, it's easily done, isn't
I
it?
think that's it. Exactly. Faces in the fire.
Yes. Yeah.
Human perception is such that the first thing you attempt to create in any abstract shape is a human face or form.
Okay. All right, then, well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's go back over to Foxhill Drive and learn about...
I'm going to go back to the area that I think...
that's taken on the children's mother.
I just need to go down to. It's like the depths.
Pam, I know this has all been a nightmare for
It's
you.
kind of like the Giant's
What's
Tomb
the
in Dark
most
Souls. It's really dark.
part, do you think?
I'll show you.
Wow, he just
Done
parried all my attacks.
Mm.
Most of them.
My husband, my ex-husband, used to develop his own photos in a dark room under the stairs. The glory holes, we used to call it when I was a kid.
Why have you boarded it up like this, though?
Well, one night, last January, I got it into my head to try and find one of my the solicitor's letters about my divorce. All of a sudden, the door stuck. Like somebody was pushing it from outside.
And you were inside by this time?
Yeah, I shoved.
Yeah, this is such a
I tried to
drop
get
that it takes forever. It almost looks like there's nothing
And
coming
I
up.
started to panic. It was like coughing. I couldn't breathe. I started
There it is.
screaming for Kimmy and Susie, but all they could hear was my banging. And all I could hear was Kimmy shouting, "It's Pipes, Mum. Pipes. Pipes is here."
It's awful. The girls got you out eventually.
The thing is, when I was in there, I swear as God's my witness, I felt this man in there with me and breathing right up against my face, like strong, like rotten cabbage. I nearly died, and when I got out, my head went.
Pam, let's go and sit down. Come on.
Oh, I should check if I can. Oh.
What happened next?
It makes it look like you're underwater.
I wrote to the council to try and get us moved.
I'm gonna place my homunculus here so I don't have to keep on respawning.
They wouldn't take it seriously, you know, like I was lying.
Just don't want to know, really.
We saw a social worker, and they said we should all see a psychiatrist.
Tell me what happened when the newspapers got their teeth into the story.
That was a disaster.
Look at these, there's a lot of coverage. Yeah. I believe in the devil, says Spook House Mother. Did you say that?
No, I didn't know.
How old are you, Bob?
Everyone was very friendly, but in the end they all made us look even more like idiots. So I went to the local TV.
Alright, let's see what's down here.
Were you apprehended?
Yes, but I told her it was the central heating, so ever since then she calls him Noises Pipes.
So, Kim, aren't you a little bit afraid?
Sometimes.
Why? Do you think Mr. Pipes has come to hurt you?
He's going to hurt everybody. I think he wants to do nasty things.
Okay, thank you very much. Now,
Pam, thanks for letting us see that. They're ready for you now in the other studio. Yeah. Pamela's just going to make her way outside now to our mini studio. She'll be there waiting to take your calls. In the meantime, let's go back to our main studio.
And Sarah, thank you very much indeed. Dr. Pascoe, what was your introduction to the early family?
Well, I saw that programme that we've just seen an extract from, and I offered to help if I could.
When you met Mrs. Early then, was she then at the end of her tether?
Yes, I'd had some experience of a fairly violent poltergeist case in Heidelberg, Germany, so I knew what it could do to a family emotionally.
I see. Well, I believe that Mrs. Early joined us now. Pamela, hello. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. Thanks also for allowing our cameras into your home. That can't have been an easy decision to have taken.
Well, Suzanne was getting fed up with the jibe she was getting at school, with the papers calling us liars and everything. And she said, Mum, Dr. Pascoe wants us to do this BBC thing. So let's do it and let's show everyone and then they'll have to believe us.
Pamela, I understand that you're quite keen to share your experience with our callers.
Yes. I want to tell everyone that they're not
Platforming?
going mad like I thought I was sometimes. That's right.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we've got some callers on the line now. Let's take our first caller. Mike Smith, who is it?
This is Sandra Hughes from Sussex.
Right, let's pick up the phones, Dr. Pascoe. Sandra, hello.
Oh, hello. This is just that when I was a girl, I brought up in a house in Brighton, and we had a ghost, and we'd often find things broken and you know those sorts of things.
You're not alone, Sandra, honestly.
And it's sort of coming out about this boy who died there and how it affected me, because at the time I didn't realise how much it affected me. That's all I want to say, really.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you for that worthless comment, Sandra. Get the hell off our lines.
They're joining us. Well, if you'd stay in the studio there, we'll come back to you in just a moment. One or two other things to talk about first of all. Thanks a lot. Now, what I want to talk about now, Dr. Pascoe, is this book of yours, which I'll show.
This is scary.
It's called Angels of the...
Not the book.
It's the book that you wrote, your account of your investigation into this case. And you also made a film at the same time. We've got...
I feel like I'm walking underwater.
Film here. Perhaps you could talk us through what's happening here.
And that's the next area to go to? Okay. This is definitely inspired by Tomb of the
We also
Giants.
use the Gansfeld technique.
That's what we're seeing now. And that's where all the sensory inputs are blocked off.
Deprived, yeah.
Deprived, yes. And you just feed in the white sound, white noise through the headphones.
Bright light.
Yeah.
Now, that's when we would hear the voice.
The voice. Well, we should hear the voice, actually. Let's hear it now, because this is intriguing.
I want to go to the edge of that to find out.
I should say that this tape is completely undoctored. There's no edit on it whatsoever.
We should also warn our viewers of a nervous disposition that the things on this tape that they might find a little bit distressing.
At one point, we filled Suzanne's mouth with coloured liquid and we sealed her lips with tape, and the voice continued with absolutely no change in quality whatsoever.
Let's hear it.
Oh no, but the sink's just been shattered now. There's no... Oh my god.
I'm assuming the direction where the lighting is going is the direction I'm supposed to go. So I should probably check this area just in case.
Grunt?
It's pitch black.
If you can grunt, can you speak? Who are you? What's your name?
He's like, I'm the guy you stole the house from.
Are you dead? Are you in heaven?
To pull my fucking pants up every time.
Bizarre. And chilling, too.
Forensic scientists at Cambridge examined the voice recording and compared it to Suzanne's normal speech pattern, and they defined it as the voices of two separate people.
Two people.
And we asked Suzanne to see if she could imitate the voice recording, and she was unable to do so for more than a few seconds.
Well, let's trying it there. She can't do it.
No, even under hypnosis we tried that.
Really, in the same.
It's weird that she's laughing about it and it's not like, that's horrifying.
Well, over the months, Alan Debesky, my partner, and I heard numerous noises, thuds, bangs, scratching in the walls, knocking.
The sort of normal noises you associate with poltergeist activity. What about this here, though?
Well, this is my favourite, I think. This pillow moved.
Her favourite.
To within about a foot of my face. It's impossible to fake that. How do you fake that?
Let's have a look at some more evidence over here. This is some wreckage evidence, if you like. This is a extraordinary assembly of. There's this cup here, for instance. Like,
Did you guys see that Haas versus Andrew Wilson versus Haas debate?
Well,
that was funny. Haas got
They
destroyed.
said it had been caused by intense temperature change, not by impact or shock.
Really? This temperature, there you are, the headless lady. And lots smaller size here.
And clocks and watches just stop when they're in the house. I just gave up wearing them.
Listen, lady, just give up your watch.
That is, of course, a spool to the bed.
Oh.
Quite remarkable. A couple of regular little Uri Gellers, those sisters,
Yeah,
aren't they?
they weren't even in the room sometimes. You just open the drawer.
And you saw this happen?
Yeah, many times.
And he didn't have a camera ready at all.
Let's now look at another piece of evidence, Doctor.
Piece
And
of
that's
evidence.
The situation where Suzanne's face at times is covered with
Honestly, I'd be the worst. I'd be like, bitch, you just brought in bent silverware. How is this proof?
Suzanne, and I
You
think-
could have done this in the parking lot.
There they are. Look at them, Michael, there.
We are.
So I'd like to talk to Suzanne. Suzanne, when did you first get these marks on your face? When did they first show?
About July, the first one was. It was horrible. Well, I'd just wake up and it would feel like someone was all over me.
And in fact, we've got there, Dr. Pascoe, we've got some of the pictures that were taken there
Damn it.
of the face of that girl with these extraordinary marks on them.
Extraordinary.
Watch them appear on
The marks on her are extraordinary.
There's another shot there, look.
Been live for an hour and 36 minutes. Huh.
Remarkable. Now, we've seen, Dr. Pascoe, we've seen the evidence that you've collected so far.
It's garbage, to be
I have
honest.
your theory. From what we've seen, do you think that the poltergeist activity, such as it is now centered on Suzanne?
Well, certainly as a female approaching puberty, she does conform to the classic, typical poltergeist focus.
Yeah.
Broken family background, she's introverted, she tends maybe to direct her stress and
The mom's
anxiety
like, broken
inwards.
family, what did you just say?
Well, I think we've still got Mrs. Early there in our outside broadcast studio. She's yes, there they are. Mrs. Early, I don't know quite if you heard that, what Dr. Pascoe was saying. Well, she said that Suzanne was the classic, typical poltergeist focus. She was the person who all this energy was focusing on. What do you think about that?
Well, there's nothing wrong with my Susie, I know that. If my Susie's funny, well, how does that explain the other things, like the glory hole? It doesn't. It can't.
So you disagree with Dr. Pascoe?
No, that did not come off the way she wanted it
On
to.
the cause of these disturbances.
What about the glory hole?
In fact, that you believe it's an actual ghost.
Don't you, Lynn?
Pam, I'm not disagreeing with you. Please believe me, I'm on your side. Look, I know that there's something there. I'm just trying to understand what it is. A poltergeist can be location-based or person-based. I mean, who knows? Maybe this is both.
Well, I mean, of course, a lot of people would have it that there's nothing there at all.
Well, a lot of people would have it at one time, but you couldn't walk on the moon.
All right, well, in order to avoid any accusations
That bitch
of
is
bias, I'd like to
angry.
This is Emilio Silvestri, a former member of the Skeptic Society PSYCOP, the Committee for the Scientific Investigation for Claims of the Paranormal. He's in New York. Good evening, Dr. Silvestri.
Is something horrible going to
Thank you for
happen?
joining us.
It's
You
just
looked
a
at the
giant bridge.
evidence in this case. I'd like to hear your conclusions. What are they?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. There's nothing in the tape that couldn't be faked.
I love this
the
guy.
photo
He sets
footage
her off
is
so
totally
bad.
inconclusive. It could all be done with wires, for all we know.
And the lesions on Suzanne's face.
Scratched by her fingernails.
She's not lying. Believe her.
Why?
I'd love to. Same as I'd love to believe I'm going to heaven, but doesn't make it a scientific fact.
But if people do believe in something, surely we shouldn't discount it. I mean, it's all part of human experience, and that's what we're studying.
Fine, but is it measurable? Is it provable? No. For years, parapsychologists have been trying to prove their loony theories in laboratory conditions, and they can't.
Yeah, that's right. We can't. That's where we went wrong. There are some things you can't demonstrate in a lab. Show me falling in love in a lab. Show me poetic inspiration in a lab. You can't. You've got to get out of the lab and into real life, and that's what we're trying to do tonight.
Bitch! Those are all
These
chemical
people are not
reactions.
deceiving us or themselves. Look at them. They're in trauma, for God's sake. Why would they do it to themselves? The early family are suffering just like people who've had murder bereavements or plane crashes. The only difference is that nobody says that they don't believe in plane crashes.
But
I don't
we
believe in
still
plane
people come
crashes.
back from them.
See, that's it. What you always forget, Emilio, is that you have a belief system too. Your belief system is blanket denial. You joke about it because you're afraid to face it.
That old chestnut. Look, Lynn, you ought to be selling crystals on Venice Beach or a palm reading. Or a counselor, a confidant, a guide, maybe, but scientist, I don't think so.
Dr. Silvestri, for the moment, thank you very much indeed. I hope you'll stay with us in our studio in New York. Keep an eye on what's happening here, and from time to time, give us a comment on proceedings. Thanks for joining us. Well, there you are, then.
Oh, there we go.
Psychop people have nothing to do with parapsychology. They're just a sign of the times.
In what way?
They're the last of the materialists, like the last of the dinosaurs. The world's changing.
Good doctor made you cross, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, two will do now. Let's go straight over to Sarah in Fox Hill Drive. Sarah, what's happening there?
Quite quiet, actually. A bit too quiet. But I must say, earlier on, Sue's turned off Dr. Silvestri. I don't think she was that enamoured.
What does he know? He's not here.
Well, in the moment we've got here now, Sarah, perhaps you could tell us that ghost story you told us about earlier on.
Oh, yes, all right. Well, I suppose it's a sort of ghost story. It happened a couple of months ago now. We were staying at some friends of ours' home. They live in the Cotswolds, beautiful 15th, 16th century house. And one night, I was woken up by the sound of this harpsichord music. It was like chamber music. But you know when a noise comes into your dream and you're not quite sure it's in a dream or whether it's actually happening? It was that kind of effect. But it woke me up nonetheless. And when I tried to get back to sleep again, I could still hear it. But all I could see was this Indian woman's face. And she had her hair sort of pulled across her forehead and then tightly back, and kohl around her eyes. And her eyes were going from side to side, you know, like in Indian dancing. And slowly the eyes lifted up and rolled right back until they were white, and then the face went. Well, next morning, I couldn't wait to tell everybody about this. And the people whose house it is, they told me that the house had once belonged to the Viceroy of India, and he had 2 Indian concubines living in the house with him. And when they died, he couldn't bury them in consecrated ground. He wasn't allowed to. So he buried them out in his garden. And there had been talk in the village of actually digging up the grave to see what else was down there. And it became very clear to me that this was a sort of message to say, no, they mustn't do it. And so when I found out that they weren't in fact planning to do anything with the grave, they wouldn't dream of it, I went back up to the bedroom and I just sort of said, don't worry, nothing's going to happen. And it was as though the atmosphere changed straight away. I have to say, Smithy was a bit scared the next night. He wouldn't admit it, but he was. But nothing happened, and it was as though everything had gone calm again. But the important thing here, it wasn't scary at all.
This area is very difficult to explore because it's pitch black and I have to use a torch. And then if I get into a combat, things can be difficult.
Okay, yeah. Kim just wants to go to bed now. It's a bit late. What time do you normally go to bed?
The area is huge.
8 o'clock. Come on then. You must be a bit tired.
What are you folks doing? I do have the chat up. Don't worry.
What did you say to Mum? Okay. Well, tell you what. If you look up to that camera there, yeah, little thing there, and he's speaking to her, you can say good night to her.
Night, Mum.
Night, love. Sweet dreams.
Night, Kenny. Remember, there's nothing to be scared of.
To bed.
Except the ghosts. The ghosts that are haunting your house.
There's nothing to be scared of.
Well, in one sense, the paranormal's no more scary than the weather or the tides. I mean, all those things can harm us, but we can also understand them.
Can I leave that light on? Yeah.
All right. Mwah.
This movie's ending is really, really enjoyable. Really good end.
So,
Also, the build-up is great.
Anything to report at all?
No, nothing. Just a cold. It's typical, isn't it? A house full of technology and nobody's bothered to find out where the central heating switch is on. You okay, Suzanne? Plenty of crisps? Yeah. Good. All right. Now, guys, I think we've earned ourselves a cup of coffee, don't you? Pam told me where everything was.
Gotta explore all the rocks to find.
Mike, how do you take the coffee?
Black one sugar, please.
Okay, what about you, Chris?
Milk one sugar, please.
You know what? I think I'd almost feel happier if something was happening. It's sort of, area just waiting, really. But you're fine.
Well, I think I might have heard something earlier, sort of just like an animal scratching its feet, but they don't seem to get in the camera at all.
Really?
Yeah. And I noticed earlier my watch had stopped.
Really?
Yeah.
What time? When?
Just before we went on air.
I said watchers have a hard time. Par for the course, I'm afraid.
Par for the course?
Just as long as we all know, eh?
Don't spook yourself.
No, it's all right. That's what we're being paid for. And we're okay anyway. Look, we've got an old hand to help us over here. Now just put the kettle on. Do you want a cup of tea or coffee?
No thanks, I'm very much.
All right.
You getting glass, please?
Where?
Yeah, that's right.
While you're in the fridge, just pass us the milk.
Oh yeah, sure.
Woo! The balancing act. There we are.
Mum!
Hello, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Are you all right?
Well, there we are. So far, so good. Now, as you know, we asked you to join our exploration of the supernatural by telling us your ghost story. Well, here's someone with a tale to tell who wants to conceal his identity.
We had this dreadful day. That first evening.
I checked to see if Burberry is live. Like, oh, is this guy
We've
live?
been laughing about it.
Burberry, you're not live.
It wasn't at all
Damn it.
malevolent or nasty, but this particular day certainly was. One of the first incidents that day, we were eating lunch, and I think it was mackerel or something like that. We both looked down, this is my half sister again and me, and saw what looked like saliva all over the mackerel. Of course, we couldn't eat it. And shortly after that, I found again what looked like saliva on the front doorstep. I lost my temper with it for the first time. I said it, this presence, whatever it was, and I started shouting and swearing. And immediately, again, what looked like spit, appeared on my shoes, as if in retaliation. And either shortly before or shortly after this, this really was disgusting. We found excrement smeared on a cupboard door in the bathroom. We had already, in fact, found such things in various parts of the flat.
Does this stop?
This is the first time we actually found anything smeared like that on the door, so it had to be cleared up.
Smeared.
And from someone who believes in ghosts to someone who's not quite sure. Let's join Craig Charles.
Alright. Sorry, I have to change the view for whatever reason. It messed up on me. Oh God, it's all so tedious.
The program you're about to watch is a unique live investigation
Well, shit.
of the supernatural. It contains material.
Alright, and back to the 44-minute mark or so.
Either shortly before or shortly after this, this really was disgusting.
Okay, so yeah, this is what I need to do. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm still stuck in the Tomb of the Ancients over here in this game. Can we get the full screen interface? And then minimal interface, and then tab to bring up just chat. Perfect. Check 2.
The front doorstep. I lost my temper with it for the first time. I said it, this presence, whatever it was, and started shouting and swearing. And immediately, again, what looked like spit, appeared on my shoes.
All right, we're
as
good.
if in retaliation. And either shortly before or shortly after this, this really was disgusting. We found excrement smeared on a cupboard door in the bathroom. We had already, in fact, found such things in various parts of the flat. This is the first time we actually found anything smeared like that on the door, so it had to be cleared up.
First time we found something smeared.
And from someone who believes in ghosts to someone who's not quite sure. Let's join Craig Charles.
I bet that scared you, didn't it? No, this is not a mask. This is Craig Charles live, you lucky people. And here we have the thrill seekers, pillars of the community, all waiting to see if the ghost is going to arrive. Welcome to Fright Night. Now, I'm going to give you a little guided tour of the community. And we're going to meet some people who are pretty upset about some weird goings on. And we're going to go to a pretty sinister place. Let's break into a little bit of a jog. Gets me fit, this jog. I tell you what, Michael, I hate Halloween. I hate apples, I hate duck apples. I hate little kids all dressed up in like the devil. I'm going to meet this woman, Yvonne Etherly, and she's on this piece of waste ground here, I think. And she's going to
I hate little kids dressed up like the devil.
Peculiar things. Yvonne Etherly. Yvonne? You're Yvonne. Okay. Yvonne, can you tell me about some of the things that have been going on around here?
Well, we live opposite Pam at number 43, and one night, ages ago now, we had all this banging. So we went to the front door, and it was obvious it was coming from Pam's house.
So what did you see?
Well, the top window was smashed, and Pam and Kimmy were in the garden crying, so we made them a cup of tea, and they just come into us whenever they need to, basically.
It all sounds a little bit weird. What's it like living in England's answer to Amityville?
Oh, it's no joke. It's not very funny. I mean, some really weird and horrible things happen around here.
What kind of weird things?
Well, there was that wee girl that went missing. What,
Judy Welland.
Judy Welland. It was in all the papers.
What happened to her?
Oh, do you know?
She asks like he cares. What happened to her?
Well, I know you're always reading about people that were knifed and all that sort of thing, but somebody was knifed around here that was 5 years old.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about this playground?
Yeah, shall I go in?
Yeah, come on.
Well, it's this summer. My youngest son, Gary, came running into the house in a real state. So when I calmed him down, it seemed that they'd been playing in here, and they found this dead black Labrador.
Where did they find it?
Well, it was about here.
And how had it died?
Well, it'd been cut open. That's, I mean, a butcher's shop.
Can you imagine the kind of person that would do something like that?
Is that all that happened?
Well, it was pregnant. There were fetuses scattered all over.
The kids weren't right for weeks.
I should imagine not. So as you can see, this is a pretty sinister place. Now I'm going to try and find the guy who tried unsuccessfully to exorcise Fox Hill Drive, Mr. Arthur Lacey. Arthur Lacey? Arthur Lacey. Come with me, Arthur. You got involved in your professional capacity, I believe.
Well, not exactly. By profession, I'm a British Rail Guard.
Ah, but in your spare time, you're a medium?
Well, I'm a spiritualist.
A spiritualist?
Yes, and through God, I've been given the task when I can to help spirits that may have lost their way.
So you exorcised Fox Hill Drive?
Well, it wasn't the Rituale Romano, bell, book and candle. No, I simply went and prayed with the family and offered a guiding light to whatever poor soul might need it.
Can you tell us what happened?
You know how they say that pigs can sense it before they get to the slaughterhouse? Well, I had this overwhelming sense of evil, of spiritual decay is the only way I can describe it as. Yet I was physically sick for a week. I smelt blood on my hands. Something didn't want me near it. Didn't believe it was dead.
So, do you believe there is such a thing as, I don't know, an evil place?
Well, there are degrees, yes, shades in all places. I mean, anyone who buys a house finds themselves weighing up those vibrations subconsciously. You see, I think that just as we are the product of our mothers and fathers and their mothers and fathers, I think that places somehow inherit the genes from their past too, somehow.
Yeah. Ah, hey, trick or treaters, I think. What's your name?
Katie.
And your name?
Billy.
Billy and Katie. Sounds a little bit like a
Craig,
situation comedy.
I'm sorry to have to cut you off there. In fact, I've just heard that we've got to go back to Sarah. That Sarah's got something important for us. Sarah, what is it? What you got?
All right.
Yeah, I've definitely got something here. Just look at this. Now, can you see this?
Things in the movie will be amping up soon. We'll be reaching a point of no return.
I thought maybe an old tomcat had got in or something.
Sarah, when did you see this?
Well, I took Suzanne up to bed. In fact, all of us
About
went
the
upstairs.
58-minute or 59-minute mark, if I recall correctly, is when
Nobody was
things
down
really
here
just
at
go
all.
off the
10
wires.
minutes ago, it wasn't here.
Sarah, have you got a handkerchief? Can you see if the light fitting is wet?
Yeah, we'll do that then. I'll turn the light off first. How do I?
Good Lord.
Okay.
But also, yeah, new McKinley tape. Or McKinney, I should say. I was trying to watch it last night, but I got too tired.
There's nothing dripped off here, first of all.
No stains on the ceiling?
See if there's anything.
No?
No,
It's concrete.
This is all completely dry.
So it couldn't come from below. Is there any smell, Sarah?
No, nothing.
Oh, it's the same shape
Smell
as
the hanky,
below, though.
Maybe. See if there's anything on that now. Any odour?
My hanky. No.
Smells like an old
Nothing
man.
At all.
Can you take a sample for us? Have you got anything that
Yeah.
you could do?
What can we use for a sample? Something to scrape it up.
I've got a lens, that's that.
Good, that would do.
Yeah, I'm going to use this to. Can I get his hanky?
Great.
See if we can suck some of
Yeah.
whatever it is up with this.
There's something big in front of me, isn't there?
It's typical.
Oh, yeah.
If you pour water from a jug, it's almost impossible to avoid getting an erratic outline. Now, these pools are perfectly oval, they're unbroken. Good.
Oh, Suzanne!
Is she alright?
You okay?
Holy shit!
Oh, let me get you some Enos or something. Hang on.
Doctor, when they've got those samples that we saw them taking there, what do you do with them when you got the sample?
Well, we'll test it to see if the calcium and the magnesium salts match the hardness of the local tap water.
And where does it come from?
Don't know.
I can't open the inventory when there's an aggroed enemy, so I just have to keep going, I guess.
You will try. Off now.
Alright, there's a bridge over there. I saw something.
Soaked. There you are, Suzanne. Sorry, I'm all wet. Let's go upstairs, shall we?
Can I ask you now, Dr. Pascoe, we've had a look at what's been happening there in the house. What, in fact, do you make of all this?
Well, poltergeist activity has a pattern, a menu, if you like. First there are the noises, the sounds, and then water. And then the third stage
it's taking me out.
Physical phenomena, moving objects.
And do you think that, in fact, what we've seen there is something starting to happen in Foxhill Drive?
Well, who knows?
Well, we shall find out, no doubt. Things have been happening in our phone rooms. We've got another caller on the line now. He's Kevin Tripp from Neath. Pick up the phone there, please, Doctor. Kevin. Hello, Kevin.
It's taking me out from a different direction. What?
Do you have a story for us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Yeah, I was just sitting here and stuff. You ain't gonna believe this, I'm telling you.
Well, you try us, Kevin.
Well, my mates were around to watch the videos, and we put on the programs about 10 minutes ago. I had this sandwich, a cheese and pickle sandwich it was, and well, it frightened me to bugger it did. I was minding my own business, and this dirty grey plate sitting on the arm of my chair just dived off.
Sure, Kevin.
And then there was nowhere near it or nothing, mind.
No.
It just leapt off with the mind of its bloody own, it did.
Kevin, how close were you to the place?
Miles away. My mates, they went white, they went.
Yes, all right, Kevin. I think we've had enough. I think I get the picture, certainly. Thank you very much indeed for calling. I suppose
He's
that
just
should have
talking
been
about his fucking
Halloween,
guy trolling.
Brutal and all that. I can see you're not as sceptical as I am, Dr. That. That's good, all right. But really, serious calls, please. The lines are still open, and we've got time for just one other call, I think. No, in fact, we haven't. I'm sorry, apparently, we've got to go straight back to Foxhill Drive, where things are happening. Sarah.
From here, wasn't it? Did you hear it?
Yes, this way.
Where did that?
You picking this up too? Let's put the light on. You're going to have to get it out of me.
That thing's still okay. What if I just jump on
I'll
top?
crawl down.
Oh, I died. I died. Okay, well, fair enough. Oh, but I respawned back down here. Okay.
Can you hear this? on.
Right, well,
Stopped. I can't hear anything now. What are these?
I have to double check because I feel like I missed something down here. Like, what's the point of this?
It's all kids' pictures we weren't here before. Look, that!
No.
I didn't know they had a cat. Did you? I don't know what to do.
No.
Should we go back upstairs and...
Oh my God. No, 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 no. Oh my God. Yes, I'm just gonna die.
Children, come on.
No, Sarah, stay where you are, please. Sarah, stay there, please. Don't go upstairs.
Why?
Because we hear that Suzanne's got out of bed, but she's not yet
Still got out,
appeared.
why?
She's not appeared on the landing.
Where is she? It could be a piece of its usual misdirection. Trust me, Sarah. Stay.
Okay.
Suzanne must still be in the bedroom.
Where?
The camera range, right in the corner of the room. Can we cut to the hall camera? No, sorry, the landing camera. No, the landing on the door. The other landing. That's it. And zoom in. Can we pan? Can we pan left? And down.
Okay.
Come on. Suzanne, are you okay?
Busted.
You all right? Come on. It wasn't me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, good Lord, I'm going too crazy with these jumps. Oh my God.
Well, that's quite extraordinary. We set out to catch a ghost, and sadly, very sadly, what we witnessed was a remarkable exposure of a hoax.
Let's not be too hasty.
Oh, come on, Doctor, please. We surely got to accept
No,
this.
I don't.
There.
Look, this is an established pattern. Genuine phenomena followed by the fakery stage when the children feel obliged to come up with the goods.
Doctor, really?
I'm sorry, because...
Well, I mean, after 8 months of commitment and committed work like you've been through, I can understand that you feel upset because you've been duped.
I'd be the first to admit it if I was absolutely sure I had been duped.
Oh, Doctor, really?
Oh,
The evidence
please
is
don't be
there. You have
simplistic.
been.
This is one incident amongst many, many dozens. I was there. I've seen them. I've seen inexplicable things. 100%. No question.
And this?
Let's not get sidetracked, please. Let's not lose the scent. Maybe there's a kind of ritualistic reason. It's like sympathetic magic, acting out what they want to happen, the invoking process that precedes the genuine appearance.
Doctor, before we get too involved in that kind of jargon, let's see what Suzanne has to say about this. She might throw. Sarah, is Suzanne able to see this?
Suzanne needs a glass of water right now. Can I talk to her?
Well, I think I'd like to talk to her first.
So if you weren't able to see clearly, they just busted her making that
Suzanne,
pounding noise,
I'd like
and
to
now
talk to you.
it's
Did
like,
you put the writing in the school book?
I want to talk about it.
What about the noises on the wall?
Don't want to talk about it.
What about the scratches on your face, Suzanne?
Mom!
All right, love, Mum's here. Doesn't matter. Can you hear me? Why, Susie? You can tell me.
Show them.
You didn't have to show them, not like this. Hmm? Why?
Tell me you don't tell around, Susie. For mistake. She doesn't know what she doesn't know anything. Do you, love?
I thought you'd leave us.
I thought I'd leave you.
All we were noises to you.
And you lied to make us stay.
Only sometimes?
It was what you wanted, wasn't it? We just gave you what you wanted. Stop it.
Miss Early, you've heard your daughter. She's admitted the entire thing was a deliberate fraud.
No, I'm sorry, I don't accept that. Dr. Pascoe has seen and heard things same as me. You can't
But
just... Well, she's afraid. She's frightened. She doesn't
But
know
Suzanne
anything.
herself
Yeah.
explained, Mrs. Early.
My family are telling the truth. We're all telling the truth.
they're liars. They're liars.
Well, Fortunately, after this turn of events, we're able to return to Dr. Milo Silvestri. Dr. Silvestri was in New York, joins us again now. Dr. Silvestri, I imagine you're about to say, I told you so.
Well, I don't get any vicarious thrill out of seeing parapsychology crucified in public, but it does validate my hypothesis.
What hypothesis?
These are disturbed detention seekers.
Rubbish.
Well, you played into their hands. Primetime TV, Alice in Wonderland couldn't take it anymore. The end of illusion.
This is not the end, please believe me. I almost feel whatever's in there, it's deliberately muddying the waters.
Well, Dr. Pascal, thank you. And Dr. Silvestri, thank you too for joining us from New York.
Things are about to get really good, folks.
A lot of activity in our phone room. You won't be amazed to hear that after what we've just seen in Foxhill Drive. Mike Smith, what's happening? What's the story?
Well, the strange thing is that we're still getting calls about that shadowy figure that was seen in the haunted bedroom, or people think they've seen in the haunted bedroom. Now, what's really weird is these are all tallying with the description. These are all different phone calls. They're generally all saying that it's an old man or a woman, bald with a skull-like head, dark eyes, or some are just saying holes for eyes, wearing a black robe or a dress which is buttoned up to the neck. So if anybody's seen this gentleman tonight, perhaps you can give us a
I'm
Oh,
sorry
call
to
now.
interrupt. This is important. Can somebody in the gallery tell me if it's possible to access the tape interviews I shot at the university, please?
I'm sure it will be, yes.
In view of what's happened, there's a sequence I need to find.
Yeah, they're saying they can get to it sometime further on the programme. Yes, okay, we'll do that for you. In the meantime, we'll have another Ghost Watch story, and then after that, I'd like to hear your opinion on what we saw a moment ago in Foxhill Drive. Is all of this a hoax, or as Dr. Pascal believes, are things just about beginning to happen? Well, call me after this true ghost story coming up now.
When I was about 11 or 12, we moved to this large, old Devonshire house, and part of the house was a lot older than the other part of the house, and it had a nasty feeling. It was cold, doors open, things fell off the wall, ornaments shattered, and generally it didn't have a nice feeling. My bedroom was in part of that house, part of that old part of the house, and shadows would move at the end of my bed. So I asked for a nightlight. I asked a grown-up, I think it was my grandmother, which made the situation worse in a way.
Well, can we just clear the set? Well, something's gone very wrong with that ghost story. Probably our poltergeist. What do you think, Dr. Pascal? Anyway, we'll try to get back to that before the end of the programme. Meanwhile, what do? We go back to your calls. That's what we do. Mike Smith.
The only one I got for you at the moment is this woman. Try her. She wants to remain anonymous, wants to take part of the programme, but insists on anonymity. Try her.
Okay, Mike, thanks. Dr. Pickfellow. Hello.
Hello?
Yes?
Hello, am I on?
Yes, you're on BBC One's Ghost Watch. Now, what do you want to tell me about?
We've got this big glass table. My husband just rested one finger on it and it exploded. Glass everywhere. His face and hands were cut. There's blood on the wallpaper. The ambulance has just gone. My children are frightened. Why are you doing this?
Now, look, I'm sure your children are in shock. I also want to say I think it's high time probably that your kids are in bed. I mean, it is past the 9 o'clock watershed, isn't it?
That's it. That's just it. They won't go to bed. I can't drive them away from the TV. I tell them to look what time it is, but the clock still shows 9:30.
Excuse me, have all your clocks stopped?
I don't know what's going on. They won't take their eyes off the set. There's blood. There's blood all over the wallpaper.
Look, it's Halloween. They're overexcited. You've had a terrible accident. Now, please, would you switch off the TV and please send your kids to bed? Thanks for calling us, but we've got to move on. Thank you, love.
No, don't.
I'm sorry, she's gone.
Listen, please, if you're still there, don't touch anything. And if you can, take a photograph. Now, this is very valuable evidence.
I've got to say to everyone watching, please, we don't want to give anybody sleepless nights. We don't want to start panic. don't let your imaginations run riot. These things we're talking about are very, very rare indeed. And the chance of them happening to you are exceedingly remote. Please believe us. Right, now I think that Dr. Pascoe, that tape you wanted, that interview you did some months ago with Kim early, I think that's ready now. I think we can go to it. It's coming up now. There you are.
So have you ever seen him then, Kelly?
Pipes? Yeah.
And what's he look like? Can you describe him to me then?
Well, he's really old, and this eye's got all blood all over his eye and scratch coming out, and then he's bald over his head, and then he's got a nose, and in the middle it's got a scratch all the way down. It's all in, and he's got a dress on, yeah, and it's all really long, and it's black. It's got buttons all the way down. And lots of petticoats under.
Now, can we replay it?
Sure, sure we can.
Back to the start of the description.
All right, come and roll it back, Lady. Back to the start, right? There?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
he's really old,
Okay.
and this eye's got all blood all over his eye and scratch coming out, and then he's bald over his head.
Now,
And then
do you see what I mean?
He's got a
Kim's
nose.
description exactly
in the middle
matches
it's got a scratch
what
all
Mike's
the
been
way
getting on the
down.
phones. Old man, a bald,
He's got a dress
skull-like head,
yeah.
dark eyes, wearing a black dress.
It's black.
She says it's black.
All the way down.
Buttoned.
Well, could they have read the descriptions in a newspaper?
Well, there's been nothing in the newspapers not containing that description. It's not appeared in print one single time, I assure you.
Then what are you saying?
Well, we were drawn to assuming it was Suzanne at the centre of this because she's at puberty, but what if she isn't? What if it's Kim?
We'd be looking at the wrong person.
Exactly.
Fascinating. Sarah seems to be trying to get our attention. Quite agitated. Sarah, what is it?
Thank you. It's Pamela. Listen to this. Cats. It's like cats. Can you hear it?
Where, Pam?
It's all right. It's all around us. Like the trap somewhere. Do you hear it? Cats running around up there in the ceiling.
Can you hear anything,
Yes.
Sarah?
Yeah, I can hear it now. She's right.
Mum,
What is it, Kimmy?
what's wrong with Susie?
What do you mean? What's wrong, Kimmy?
I love how this story is evolving.
Don't get upset.
Very cool.
Mum's here. What do you want us to do?
Sarah,
What should we do?
Sarah, you're all right.
Get away from them. Come on, they have to stay. They have to see everything.
Sarah, it's all right. Don't worry. It's some kind of allergenic psychosomatic reaction.
Could be self-mutilation. She could have done it with her own fingernails, you know.
They're saying she used her own fingernails for this.
Fingernails? What flaming fingernails?
What do you want us to do?
Sarah, don't worry. I've seen it before. It will subside. Feel her temperature.
She's burning up. Don't touch her. It's like a meat locker in here. It's so cold.
We can't do it because she's in agony and she won't even let me touch it.
What do you want to do?
Oh, yeah. Get a flannel and get some water.
Come on, we'll get out of here. Come on.
Is there a way to just climb over these areas? Because otherwise this area, as far as I can tell, is just a quick way to get back to one area to the next, but there's no real reason for it. I don't know.
Behind the door.
The texture quality up here implies that it's not really meant for exploration.
Sorry.
It's got to be quiet. It's quiet. She's the bad girl.
It's all right. Just be quiet.
Sarah, shall we send someone in now?
No, God knows how she'd react. Just let's let everything settle down now.
What time? We've got to stay. Point says we've got to stay.
I should tell you, you could join to see the next programme. In fact, we're staying with what we have here from Foxhill Drive because the events are so remarkable and dramatic that we'll be staying with them for as long as we have to. Daughter, what about your theory that, in fact, Kimmy was the focus for the poltergeist activity? What does this mean now?
He's like, man.
Well, maybe they're both involved. I mean, maybe it's like a tandem effect. Kim's creating the energy and Suzanne's directing the violence in on herself.
First Suzanne, then Kimmy, then this. You don't know, do you?
No, I don't.
I've got to come in here. We've got a very important phone call, which I think you both should take right now.
Doctor.
Hello,
Who am I talking to?
Oh, hello. My name's Mary Christopher, and I just wanted to phone and tell you about this. Well, about my mother, really. We were North Oak born and bred, and us children, if we were naughty or couldn't get to sleep, our mum used to say, "Mother Sevens will come to get you." It used to scare us rigid. I don't know why she.
Parents do some awful daft things, don't they, Mary?
Yeah, well, years later I found out that she really did exist, and she was a baby farmer, like a childminder. She used to take kids in, but she used to kill them, and she'd drown them in the big coppers. And why I'm ringing is she used to live in one of the old terraces in Foxhill by the railway, as it was then, and it's now Foxhill Drive, and I'm just sure it's where those poor girls live now. And really, that's all I have to say. I just wanted to make sure you knew.
Thanks for your call, Mary. Thanks very much for calling me. Sarah, I wonder, Sarah, did you hear any of that? Sarah, can you hear me?
Could I talk to Sarah, please?
Mike,
No.
it's all right. I can hear you. I'm sorry.
Mike's like, I want to talk to my wife.
Better now. We still don't know how the scratches got on her face, but we feel it's probably best to get the girls out of the house now. Things are still quite strange.
No, we don't. Get out! I've got to talk to somebody.
Kimmy? Who? Kim, who are you talking to?
Pipes.
Where's Pipes?
Bullshit.
Here.
What does he look like, Kimmy?
Somebody's mum.
I'd like both of us.
He looks like Smeagol.
I'd like somebody to take care of Suzanne as well. And please, let's have the kids out of the house. Please, could we?
Baby! No, I didn't say you stay. You will stay. What's that?
Kids get dragged out of the house.
Just outside. Come on. Downstairs. Just outside. No.
I think I'm stuck again. Fuck this game.
I don't want to go. Pipe says we've got to stay. Pipe wants to see everybody. Look, everybody wants to see him.
Hopefully the children are on the way out of the house now. Once they are, I suppose that'll be the end of our program, the end of our Ghost Watch program. I hope they are out shortly. As we wait for them to come out, we'll go over to our phone-in studio. Mike, what's been happening?
Well, it's understandably fairly chaotic here. We're getting all sorts of calls. In Derby, someone was ringing to say that her clock had stopped.
Again, a clock stopping.
Ken and Joyce Scrivener from Telford in Shropshire, their radio has gone dead, and the microwave oven is pinging repetitively.
Well, where are they happening? I mean, is there a geographical pattern? How many of these incidents are there?
I don't know how many of these to take with a pinch of salt. Mrs. Pinder from Chepstow, her dog won't stop barking. In fact, we have loads of instances
My damn dog.
this evening of pets acting up all through the programme. Mr. Naro from Cheltenham says his son is making glasses break.
I'm sure we can assume that many, if not all of these calls are jokes. I'm more interested in what's happening at the house. Are they all out?
No, wait. We've got one here. Just in the last few minutes, a young lady very distressed in response to something that we showed earlier on, and she's hung up before we've had a chance to talk to her. So the point is, there's someone here who can take your call now. We need to talk to you. Could you call back?
Can we talk to these people?
Let's get back to Sarah. Sarah, are you all right?
I think I just dropped past an item.
I'm
For all that
I can
expiration.
hardly hear you. You can hear what I'm saying. Suzanne's a lot quieter now, but they won't move. They won't listen to me. I think Suzanne's in some kind of a state of shock. What do? I can't leave them. I'm sorry, I've got to take this out. It's making terrible noise. I know what's going on. Can you hear this? It's Vicky? Michael? Dr. Pascoe?
That's not
There
nice.
are incredible noises coming from the walls and from the ceiling. Ah! Oh,
Okay.
Kimmy? Kim? Can't you do something?
Susie,
Stop it! Stop it, Susie! Suzanne, you're coming with me. Suzanne? You're coming... Suzanne? Listen to me, Susie. Susie? Can you hear me? Suzanne, do you hear me?
Yes. Yes. Get out. Get out if you don't want to be here. I don't care. You just mess things up. You mess everything up. I hate you.
Timmy! Timmy, if you can hear me, just shout. Let me know where you are so that we can help you. Timmy! Kim! Just say something. Kimmy! Kimmy!
Kimmy!
Kim!
Let's try this mechanical tenderizer item.
Pop said to do it. Pop says he's a bad parent, Bobby. Here are his eyes.
Oh. What's that noise? Right, where's it coming from?
Look at... This looks like an earthquake.
As soon as I can beat that guy, I can have a good look around.
You just stay back over there, darling. Stay over there.
It should be round around the red around this corner.
Just pull this side. Shall I get you one out of the kitchen drawer?
There he is.
Take this away.
Creepy.
What's happened?
Damn, I'm hardly doing any damage to this guy.
Chris, stay there. I'm going to go and get help, all right? Just stay there with him. Suzanne.
He's touching me.
Suzanne.
He's hurting me. He's hurting me. Get off me. Get away. Get off me. No. Go away. Mom, help me. Don't leave me, Mom.
Have we lost the link completely?
No, it's not. Oh, hang on, yeah, we're on.
Somebody,
Oh, we're on.
please tell me. We've obviously lost the link.
Well, the light's on. We are definitely on. Sorry, there seems
Okay,
to be
we
a
can't
bit
get
of
back.
bit of a balls up in TV Spring. I think we can say. You can
must
see
be
us,
able
but
to
we
get it
can't
back
see
somehow.
you. However,
We're finding out.
Well, nothing to report so far from the house. It all seems very quiet and peaceful.
I know. I'll tell you the truth. I'm not really bothered. I didn't really want to scoop on the headless horseman. I mean, like, where'd you put your microphone?
Is somebody speaking to her? What's everybody doing up there?
You're
for
following me
heaven's
around,
sake?
you kids, aren't you? I think we're off again now. Where's the small? I wish someone would have said we were on then, you know. I'm chatting away and only at the BBC lot.
I think the case is somehow
Hey,
acted
hey,
as a...
sorry. We're back in Fox.
Oh my gosh, don't fall off. That would have been critical.
It looks decent enough, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Where's the sound man? I assume that they've got him out actually, obviously. We're back to normal.
Die, bad guy.
Mike Smith, right, breathes a sigh of relief, no doubt.
Yeah, no, I'm delighted. I was ready to, I don't know.
4,000 XP, nice.
Panic over, hopefully.
Upgrade module, anomalous
The
crystal.
rest of the house.
Sure we can. I'd like to talk to Sarah as well. While we're working on trying to talk to Sarah again, perhaps there's time to take one of those many phone calls that are stacking up. Mike?
Yeah, I'll be delighted. Who is the next caller?
Doctor. Hello, your name is?
I don't want to give my name, but I think I have some information for you about the history of the house.
Well, what do you know about it?
Well, we've been into all that. We've got the deeds and searches going back to the year it was built, and the history of the site as far as the Doomsday Book and the ley lines.
Do you know Mr. and Mrs. Sellers?
Yes, they're on our list of tenants. They lived there in the 60s, I think.
Did you know they sublet a room?
No, I didn't know that.
Being illegal, it wouldn't be on the official records. The lodger was their nephew, Raymond Tunstall.
How do you know him? Why are you calling, sir?
I worked as a social worker when he came out of psychiatric hospital. He had several convictions for molestation, aggravated abuse, abduction of minors. He should never have been let anywhere near any community. He was a very disturbed man, in my opinion.
In what way?
From the time he moved to Foxhill Drive, he developed paranoid fantasies. He used to tell me there was a woman on the inside of his body, taking over his thoughts and actions, making him do things he didn't want to do. He started to wear dresses. The delusions got so
Shit!
bad,
He
there was
got
only
me.
one way to escape them.
We found the direction to go,
His
though.
own life. That's why I called. When I was sitting here watching the TV.
Hello? Are you still there? If you are, please go on. Hello?
All right. I know exactly where to go now.
Hanged himself. He tied wire around his neck to a lathe and switched it on. Did it where he kept his tools, under the stairs. His aunt and uncle were on holiday. It was 12 days before anybody found him. They heard the cats screaming. He had about a dozen cats. The cats were locked in, of course. And of course, 12 days, they got hungry. They got to work on his face.
Mr. I'm sure what you say is true. We've no reason to disbelieve you, but in order to substantiate...
He's gone, Doctor. He's hung up. Sorry, but that's the way it is. He's gone. Ah, dear.
I think this is the onion skin.
What is?
I mean, what happened on that spot? How many terrible things?
This has got to be nonsense, Doctor.
Before Tunstall, before Mother Seddon's, way back, maybe into prehistory.
Oh, nonsense. I mean, no more calls, please. Also, our switchboard's jammed. We've been inundated with hoaxes,
The
with
Rosenheim
wrong
poltergeist
numbers,
affected the
with
telephone
calls, and
exchange,
nobody
rang of
there.
endless bills,
Poltergeist
misdirected
or
calls.
no
They're
poltergeist.
seeing it now, for God's sake. Don't close the lines. We need to know what's happening out there.
You're the expert. What is happening out there?
I don't know.
What is it? Doctor, what's wrong? What's the matter?
It's in the machine.
What?
Well, look at the picture.
Where?
On the wall. The picture on the wall.
What about the
Well,
picture?
it's still there. It hasn't fallen. It's not come off the wall. This picture we're seeing now isn't live. This is some earlier footage from earlier in the evening. This is just a cover. It's a dupe.
But
This
what?
isn't happening now.
But what is happening?
Was what you wanted, wasn't it?
Gone.
We just gave you what you wanted. Stop it.
I think we're not calling shots anymore. Of course we're calling the shots anymore. We're going to be silly. There's a wind in the studio. Ever heard of a wind in the studio? I don't understand.
Jesus, man, we've created a seance. Massive seance.
Where are we now? What's it? This could be live. Is this happening outside the house? I think it is.
It's not.
So what she just said, they created a massive seance.
We've got to assume this is live, actually happening.
All right. Well, let's go down here.
We've seen Mike come out.
Holy shit! I didn't mean to do
We've
that.
seen Kim. We've seen Pam. That leaves Suzanne and Sarah. Now where are they? Where can they be? Have we seen them?
More buildings? Still got a big guy down there.
Where are we?
Okay, he's still coming this way.
What are we seeing here?
Who's that?
Susie?
Sarah.
Is it?
Susie, are you there?
Son of a bitch.
Can she hear us?
Chris?
Down here.
Oh, there's one of those items you can get.
Where are you?
Log up the deep.
Oh, can you see if you could see her in that room?
What's happening right now? Oh, shit. Do you want her about to transition to the next level? Initiate? Let's go. God, that was a long trek into that place.
I know, Chris, have you still got your lighter? Yeah. Good. There we are.
Oh, hell yes. This is the desert. Above the desert?
It's okay for you. It's okay.
Yeah, hold on.
Chris,
Dual commas? Okay.
can you see them?
Yeah.
It's okay, Susie. We're here. Where are you?
Downstairs. In the building.
Chris, are you all right?
Yeah.
It's all right, Susie. Susie?
I wish there was a photo mode for this game because this is incredible.
Susie? You've got to push it from the inside. Come on. Get off me! Susie? That's gonna hurt you. You're safe.
Sarah? Sarah?
People are leaving the studio now. Lights are going all over the place.
Guys just remaining calm. Lights are going all over the place.
Get the link back. Somebody can get the link back. When you assure me that my wife is safe,
We have got an emergency generator. Whether or not we can bring it in, I
I'm
don't
not
know.
going.
Studio's completely dark. Just blackness now. All the lights have failed. The power's gone off.
Dude's just dead silent.
We've got some lights in the studio. I don't know. There's cameras, but I don't know which one's working. I mean, there are no cameramen. I mean, it's difficult to know, even if anybody's still with us. But if they are, this is the scene in this studio, this totally deserted studio.
Except now you can hear cats and
round and round the garden like a teddy bear.
And that's the end of that. Yeah, so that movie, apparently when it aired, I don't know if it was the initial airing or if it was a rerun, it actually had to be pulled during broadcasts for, I think they said it was, like malicious intent, because it, I mean, you're not really given any information, so you may not be aware and think that it's real. Just kind of a minor little thing that was funny to me. But honestly, unexpectedly chilling last 30 minutes. Whereas the first 30 minutes are kind of just like standard stuff you'd expect. The story really amps up and goes towards the direction that you would expect. Well, it goes further, much further than like a Conjuring movie, but you might notice the, fix this real quickly. You guys probably noticed that it's similar to the Enfield Poltergeist, which was what The Conjuring 2 was mainly focused about. And, if I get this thing to go away. There you go. Also, what time is it? You're like, I need my time now because I can't see shit. Oh, it's 1 in the morning. Okay. Yeah, folks, well, we had some good times. I think that's it for me for the night. But I will be back again with much more. When I say much more, I mean significantly less than you could ever expect. But yeah, I'll be going live again, usually. Right now, I'm still working out my internet, so that's why there's been a lot of Wi-Fi fuck-ups. Anyways, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you had a good time with Ghost Watch and just chilling out. Yeah. We caused a massive seance on accident. Have a good evening.